Folks, we're back with the last ever Cup Snake game happening on February 15th at the XL Energy Center when the Minnesota Wild take on the Colorado Avalanche. So you do not want to miss out on this event because this is, as of right now, the last Cup Snake ever that we're ever doing. You do not want to miss out on this one. We're going to be doing it in the concourse. It's going to be fucking awesome. So you're going to want to get your tickets. If you go to all of our socials, you should see a post that with the link to the tickets. It's in our Instagram bio at 10K Takes. If you go to our Twitter, it's on our pinned tweet on that post. You can go to that link, buy your tickets now for Wednesday, February 15th. We are doing the last Cup Snake ever. And if you've been a part of them, you get it. You know how fun it can be. But obviously, if you've never been a part of one before and you've seen them in our previous videos, previous content, and you felt like you've missed out, well, you need to get your tickets now because you do not want to miss this. This is the last Cup Snake ever. Get your tickets now. It's going to be a blast.
Also, one last point. This game is a national broadcast. TNT will be broadcasting the game. Biz and Company, I think, will be in the studio. We're not promising anything, but we're working with our connections at the Wild to try to get a TNT camera up there and try to get on ESPN again. On this episode of It's a Bit, we're joined by Stephie Smalls. She's a gambling host and does content at Champions Round. She's a Giants fan. She's friends with PA. All-around great time interview. We're going to go into our bits of the week as always and end the show with something a little controversial, drafting the best NHL jerseys of all time. So all that and more on It's a Bit.
You're listening to the It's a Bit podcast presented by 10,000 Takes.
You just made the roster.
Janine Empire called 10,000 Takes.
Fucking like that?
Hey, you know those guys that do 10,000 takes? They do some funny bits, right?
They're good. They're funny dudes.
Yeah.
10,000 Take.
All right, welcome back to another episode of It's a Bit presented by 10,000 Takes. My name is Bossman, joined by Wags virtually. We got producer Cam, journalist Jake, and the final Cup Snake is on. The big announcement is here. We're doing one last Cup Snake. For everyone wondering why, it's not because of a bad reason. It's just, all good things got to come to an end. We got to move on to bigger and better things eventually. And what a better way to close it out with our friends at the Minnesota Wild, going for Minnesota Wild Cup Snake Round 2. February 15th. Link is in our pinned tweet if you follow us on Twitter. Otherwise, on Instagram and TikTok, it will be in our bio. But what do you guys think about the last snake?
It's the last fucking dance. It's going to be the biggest and best snake ever, hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping we can just break all records that we previously done. I think our biggest Cup Snake happened at the Wild game, back in November of 2021, which sounds crazy now. That was over a year ago. So hopefully we can garner even more attention than we did that one, and on national TV as well. Mm-hmm. I want the TNT crew talking about this in this. I want them talking about it post game.
It's a late night game, so late night television. They get a little raunchier at night because the kids drop off and it's kind of just the adults watching the broadcast. So it might go hand in hand perfectly with the TNT broadcast.
And it's practically a rivalry game too.
Yeah.
So we play the Avalanche, right?
Yeah, before the last time around we just played the Coyotes.
Yeah.
It was
and that was good though because
guaranteed win.
We blew out the other team, so we could just focus on the snake.
Yeah.
Now I thought of this though. We have this long-standing, more of a bit rivalry though with the Colorado Mammoth lacrosse team that cheated and built a cup snake with empty cups. We play the Colorado Avalanche the same night. It's Colorado versus Minnesota in two facets, in my opinion, both on the Cup Snake field as well as on the ice. Coincidence?
It's almost like this was destiny, man.
This was meant to be. So you need, if you're listening to this, you need to get your tickets and just go to it. Just do it. The Shia LaBeouf.
So even though we are
over
retiring
again.
from Cup Snakes, I mean, this is probably like a Rob Gronkowski, Brett Favre type retirement where we think we're out, but I guess we don't officially know. I mean, maybe 3 to 5 years we'll bring it back, but it's definitely going to be out for the short term.
We're closing the door for now.
Yeah.
We're not closing the door on bringing it back, though. If the time is right, the situation is right. I think just these things have kind of lost their shine a little bit. Not that they're not fun or they're not awesome, but, with anything, if you do it enough times, people are looking for something new. So we're going to go out with a bang. We're going to go out with one last snake. And what a better time to do it than in the most desolate, worst time of the year, February.
But we're not going to be like Tom Brady. I don't know if you guys saw this, but when he was asked about his retirement, he absolutely freaked out on his own podcast. So if our fans out there ask us if we're going to bring the Cup Snake back, I promise we won't freak out on you. Did you guys see that?
I did
No.
not.
Oh, he lost his mind.
Wait, so this just recently happened?
Yeah, he was asked, I forget the guy's name. He's
Wasn't it
super-
on his own podcast
yeah,
too?
yeah, it
Like
was.
he had a guest on his own podcast who asked him about it
Yeah.
and blew up.
And
It's
he's
like, well-
the guy that asked him super well known, and he asked him like if he's gonna come back, and he literally just said, "If I fucking knew what I was gonna do, I would fucking tell you," and it just like went off.
Oh,
I was like,
jeez.
"Oh my god!" So
Okay,
I promise
well,
we
that's
won't do
always
that.
Wow. Okay.
Who did he have on?
I think actually the person that asked it was another host on his own podcast.
That's funny.
but I
Oh,
forget his
okay.
name. I think it's the guy that used to do like on Westwood One would do the interviews with Tom Brady on Monday Night Football, like
Okay.
on the radio.
Yeah.
It's the same guy, I'm pretty sure. But yeah,
Tom Brady's
he
not
went nuts.
retiring.
Well, and I promise you this: even if we are officially retiring from Cup Snakes, we're not going to make a movie about it.
No.
80
No.
for Brady.
Oh, gross.
Oh god.
Jim Gray is who asked.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's his name.
Jim Gray, that's hilarious. No, we're taking a step back. We'll go through a divorce and then we'll come back.
I mean, and here's the thing too: like people love the Cup Snake not only because it's fun to build something that goes viral, goes on TV, breaks records, but it's just fun to do something at like a sporting event that everyone loves, like a Wild. We're not done partnering with the Wild, the Saints, the Twins. Like we're keeping those doors open completely. It's just we need to move on to a new concept. Maybe like one of those teddy bear throws for charity. Maybe who knows? Like we're really gonna push the limits of what fans can do at sporting events. And keep the doors open with all these beloved teams and the wonderful people who work for them.
Yeah, finding different ways to create fan engagement beyond a Cup Snake so things stay new and fresh. But we still are. We still think the future is bright with our partnerships.
Yep.
Who knows?
Yep.
It's gonna be great.
But anyways, yeah, buy the tickets. The final Cup Snake, the last snake. Hopefully ESPN doesn't sue us for that. We had to sign a release form, by the way, basically saying like, hey, don't sue the Wild. If ESPN sues us or
Oh wow.
gets upset about the last, because we ripped off the Last Dance commercial.
Yeah.
So we basically said, hey, come after us. Don't go after the Wild. That wasn't their idea.
Well, we're already used to it. We've had
Oh,
Celine Dion,
the Minnesota Wild made us sign something?
yeah,
which makes sense.
Just
I mean,
because we did a parody trailer of the ESPN Last Dance.
correct.
Okay,
And
okay.
and
but
and
it's parody law.
Their name is attached to the package. So
Okay.
yeah, it'd be a lot funnier if we got sued than that.
No, exactly.
So-
That's great content for us. That.
But at the end of the day, I don't think we're big enough, unfortunately, for ESPN to come after us for that. But you never know. Celine Dion did it.
Which in this case might be a blessing.
Yeah.
It'd be great. We'd get
We
a
could
lot
still
of
get away with
notoriety.
Right.
That'd become, what if that becomes a 30 for 30 in like 10 years on ESPN? ESPN coming after us for just a little video.
What if I told you a small Minnesota sports company took over ESPN?
Yeah.
What if I told you that we're also getting sued for this because we made it about getting sued for something
I don't
else?
know. You always see those weird case studies like in the future that they teach to like law students about those weird stupid cases about big companies going after and suing people or smaller companies over dumb things. And this could be that thing that gets like notoriety in the press and just only helps us. So
Yeah.
who knows? Whatever.
At
I
least
think
though
it's a
the
good
Wild-
thing.
Send us a cease and desist. We're publishing
Yeah.
the socials.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. At least the Wild are protected though.
Yeah, they're good.
This,
They
this,
should be.
this was our idea. We'll state that again for the record.
We'll
This-
take the beating.
The Last Dance. This was our idea. This is the last snake.
Yeah, we're kind of like the enforcer here, eh? We're protecting the team.
We're doing our part.
True.
That's the way
There
I
we
see
go.
it. And you know what? Same. That's why we like doing the Cup Snakes too, because the Wild never get national media attention. You never see the Wild's logo on ESPN, so it's that if that's what we have to do to get the logo on ESPN, we're gonna do the Cup Snake.
We are Ryan Reeves in the courtroom.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about the courtroom.
We're
Well, if we have to get
courtroom
there.
Ryan Reeves.
Yeah. The legal Ryan Reeves.
Okay,
That doesn't
10,000
work either.
takes.
Yeah.
Is.
Yeah.
We're Okay.
You know what I meant.
Yeah.
Well, if you took all members physically, if you took all members of 10,000 takes, all like 38 of us, or how many people, we still couldn't take down Ryan Reeves.
Nope.
Oh, hell no.
physically.
No. Even if he had one arm and one leg, it's
Yep,
not happening.
Exactly.
But anyways, all right, let's move into bit of the week. We say everything around here is a joke or a bit. We'll start with you, Zane, through the TV. What do you got?
I got the booing kids with cancer bit. This unfortunately belongs to journalist Jake. I missed last week's
Indeed.
episode because
God.
of work, and
I'm glad I didn't. Before last week's episode, by the way, I was gonna do an honor. I was gonna actually do this bit for in your absence, but I forgot. So I'm glad I did forget. So you can talk about it.
There we go. But Jake and I were at the Giants Vikings playoff game. Unfortunately, very, very, very depressing. But I think it was the end of the first quarter. They showed this kid on the screen, and he goes on like the sideline, and they talk about his cancer story pretty much, and just about all the troubles he's gone through the last 2 years. And then the U.S. Bank Stadium announcer's like, "Okay, everyone, give blah 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 a big round of applause." So everyone starts doing it. And then out of nowhere, Roger Goodell walks up behind the kid. I think Jake and I were talking when the PA announcer was hyping up this kid. All Jake does is he sees Roger Goodell, and he's just like, "Whoa!" booing the shit out of. Essentially, it looks like he's booing the shit out of Roger Goodell, but it looks like he's booing the shit out of this little kid who has cancer, who just won a trip to the Super Bowl from Roger Goodell. So we have everyone like turning around and looking at us. We had a Giants fan in front of us say, "I didn't know this was Philadelphia." Like, people were like very upset that Jake, quote unquote, booed the kid with cancer.
Well, first off, that's funny they bring up Philly because I guess that's a normal occurrence probably there, where it's like, "Oh, the kid has cancer. I don't give a fuck."
Boo!
Boo!
They were famous for throwing snowballs at Santa Claus at a Philadelphia Eagles game in like the 70s. So
yeah.
Well, but I was very. I said it very loudly, making sure that Giants fan in front of me did hear me. I'm like, why the fuck would I boo a kid with cancer? I was clearly booing Roger Goodell. What kind of fucking dumbass would think that? I remember the guy was sitting there nodding in front. I'm like, yeah, because you're a fucking prick.
I thought he's getting fired up.
Very loudly,
jackass.
After that.
But then there was a Giants fan right to his left, and that guy was pretty cool. And he's like, yeah, Philly would boo a kid with cancer. I'm like, yeah.
I really thought you were going to go with the same excuse. Well, I was blacked out, so I don't remember that, so it doesn't count.
No, I wasn't blacked out. I was very aware. I think I was partly paying attention. I was talking to you probably about the game, and I just see Roger Goodell, and just an instinct kicked in. Because fuck him. But then I did kind of regret that after that.
I was going to say, you got to realize, though, from anyone else's perspective, it looks like you're booing a child with cancer.
Yeah, the only person I think
Jake,
that actually...
You stood up, dude. You stood up. You got on your
fuck
feet.
That guy.
With all of the effort in your body, you leaned in and everything.
But what's funny is I heard other people booing, too. As soon as he came into frame, there were other people booing. It wasn't there. It was majority of the stadium was clapping because they probably were like, okay, yeah, I should be clapping for this kid, which you should be. But Roger Goodell, fuck him. Like, seriously.
It's kind of like
more about Goodell than kids with cancer.
It's kind of like the very small percentage of people at Target Field who probably have had too many beers that boo like the kid who does the seventh inning batting call.
Oh yeah,
it's like this kid stinks. Why do we do this?
Yeah, he pronounces wrong and stuff. Or sings "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." It's like, calm down.
But you were that guy booing the kid with cancer.
Yeah.
Jake, it's always you doing something.
You know what? You know what you could have said though. You could always spin zone. Cancer sucks. I hate that kid has cancer. Boo cancer.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm throwing the cancer out of his body.
But then I'm like, afterwards, I should have just. I'm like, yeah, good for that kid. You know, he's going to the Super Bowl. But fuck Goodell. Gosh.
You could have been like the fan. Did you guys see the fan after? I think we mentioned this last game. The fan after the game when Goodell was in the field.
Yeah.
Like, hey, Roger, you're a bitch.
And then Roger Goodell.
He started doing the like fucking
suck it.
Yeah. He's like grown ass man.
You're the head of the NFL, and
you have a helicopter that the NFL pays for,
and you literally just can't walk away and let this heckler, and you literally did something like a 13-year-old would do.
Yeah.
To a heckler. Goodness.
It's crazy that Roger Goodell actually, despite all of the games that were happening, came to Minnesota.
I know that
came
was
to
the
Vikings-Giants game. Two teams who debatably did not belong in the playoffs. Eventually, you saw. I guess we'll get into that with Stephie about the Giants and the Eagles. But it is hilarious that of all places he came here. So you know what? I guess credit to Minnesota and U.S. Bank Stadium.
Yeah,
good enough for Goodell.
Good for that kid with cancer. He's going to the Super Bowl.
Yep. At least you fixed it, Jake. All right, producer Cam, what do you got?
I have the KJ Osborne bit. This past Sunday, we did another event with our good friends at Tom's Watch Bar. There was like an autograph signing for with KJ Osborne, and we did an interview in front of the bar. And he was a great guy, and it was a lot of fun. Get out on a Sunday and hang out with an NFL player who was down to earth dude.
That's one of those guys I forget is my age.
Yeah, It's crazy.
He's so much more of a man than me.
You look at him, you're like, oh my god.
I'm like, you are not. I think I can't remember if I said it. I'm like, I don't think you're my age. Like, you're not. I looked you up. You're 25. There's no way in hell you're 25. Guy's got a nice goatee. He's just ripped, of course. KJ Osborne's a great dude. I'm not gonna lie. We talked to him for a little bit. Jake did the interview with him, which was great content. And yeah, all around just good human being. He talked with everyone, including even some of the crackheads who snuck in.
Yeah, the loiterers.
Yeah, he even gave them the time of day as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good guy. What can you say? True Minnesotan. But no, he was a really nice guy.
It's weird that we're getting to the point now where like all of the athletes in the NHL, MLB, NBA, NFL, they're our age now. So yeah, you're right. It would be weird talking to like KJ. Like even now, when I think of KJ Osborne, I think of someone older than me. He's younger than me.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like Lamar Jackson's my age too, 25.
Yeah, that's just crazy.
Blows my mind every time. But really cool thing, Tom's Watch Bar is going to be doing this, I think, as a regular series. Every month. They're shooting for every month. They want to bring in one either current athlete that's probably in the off season or retired former Minnesota athlete or even actors, whatever. They want to bring them in, do like a signing, and then there's going to be like a little 10K interview where one of us goes up there and asks them some very lighthearted, funny questions. Obviously, we were never going to ask KJ Osborne. So what do you think about the defense and Ed Donatel get it? Like,
yeah.
Some people would have gone up there and done that.
Why did you drop that ball on third down in the second to last play?
Can you imagine? Can you imagine what would have happened if you would have asked that?
You guys know us. We're not there to piss people off.
Yeah.
We're not there to we're not real journalists. So.
You know, there are some people there that were in, like sitting there at Tom's Watch Bar that were like, ask him, why isn't he asking about that pass or that catch or what Ed Donatel, because he doesn't want to hear about that shit.
It was like the one guy at the Bill Guerin signing who asked him about like 3 different questions about goaltending. It's like, you got to stop with the goaltending.
Like, this guy talks to Chris Thomason 24 weeks out of the year. We got to give him a break.
Yeah, exactly.
You see that? Speaking of press conference, did you see that press conference with Leon Draisaitl and that Canadian reporter
from a year ago?
Was that from last year?
That was from last year.
The one where he was like all pissed off.
Why are you so pissy?
Why are you so pissy, Leon?
Yeah.
Leo or
he goes. He goes. What did you think of your performance tonight? Wasn't good. You want to elaborate on that? No.
Why are you so pissy?
Why are you so pissy, Leon?
Don't say that to him. Just
apparently,
let him be.
I don't know much about Canada, but apparently, like their hockey market, I know like their fans are hardcore because it's Canada,
and
you
their
know.
Press,
but like I've heard their media is insane up there, especially in Edmonton.
They attack their NHL teams hardcore.
Yeah,
it's
wild.
like, just let him be. If he's pissed off, you can be pissed off.
Yeah.
Dude, did you guys see Dallas Cowboys Twitter page just ripping Dak apart?
I did see that. That was
absolutely hilarious.
That looked like a tweet that accidentally was supposed to go on a personal account that went on the main Cowboys account.
What did they say?
They never deleted it. Cam, you want to pull it up?
Yeah, it was supposed to go on Jerry Jones' burner account, I'm pretty sure.
I think it was Jerry, because you think Jerry's got to have the credentials, right?
Probably.
Well, I would think so.
Yeah, he wants the credentials.
He seems like that kind of
He's a dictator, of
course.
Dictator
type ruler where he's got access to everything.
So I'm on their Twitter right now. I got to scroll because apparently they tweet every fucking hour.
It's so funny when teams who just lost tweet things about, like, you know, community events, like their regular scheduling, and then everyone says don't tweet until the draft.
Oh, sorry, I'm trying to get to it, but they've done this 700 times.
Right here.
Okay.
So,
there we go.
This is what they tweeted from their account. Dak Prescott gave away the ball twice in the narrow loss to the 49ers in a matchup the Cowboys had a chance to win if they didn't, again, generate self-inflicted wounds.
Why would you tweet that from a main account? That sounds like it's coming from like
it was like a link to an article, but like, why the fuck would you ever say that?
Yeah, typically when a team loses, especially in disappointing fashion, they just tweet out "final" period, and then you don't see anything for a few days.
There's no opinions on.
I've never seen a professional team do this, but now that I'm looking through their Twitter, which I never would if it weren't for this, they do this all the time. Like, they post headlines of articles that link straight to their website.
You know what?
That's stupid.
Credit to the Cowboys. They're showing a level of transparency. Their own staff doesn't even believe in them.
Well, their own staff is toxic, just like their fans. I mean, you saw that guy break his TV. Why would you do that?
His 20-inch LG TV.
Did you see how many people were in that room?
Setup.
Yeah, there was like 30 people.
There's 30 people. And it was a shitty like 32-inch TV.
I'm convinced that guy hopefully already was going to surprise his family with a new TV, and he's like, but I'm going to smash it just for the bit.
I think it was a setup, because if you look
That's what I think so too.
Yeah, if you look at the person in the corner of the couch, because they were in like a garage, that person legitimately had to have binoculars to see that TV.
Yeah.
Like, there's no
see, that's the thing. That's what was
real.
weird, but then again, that would just make so much sense for Dallas fans.
Well, do you remember, maybe it was, I don't know if it was last year, but it was one of the years they lost in the playoffs. The guy legitimately smashes his TV and pulls out a fucking gun and shoots the fucking TV.
Oh, I think I do
4 or
remember
5
that.
Hell,
times.
that makes sense too. If that was in Texas.
Cowboys fans are insane.
There was, I can't remember what fan base it was, but there was a shot where it's a TV sitting there, right? Like it's a still image. And then you hear someone running and out of nowhere comes 2 flying feet. And it just kicks fucking kicks in the TV.
I think that was after like a soccer game or something.
Yeah.
I think I know what you're talking about, but still, fans are crazy. I would never break a TV.
That's so funny.
I don't think I could ever break a TV either.
I think that's literally only Dallas, certain fan bases that are just toxic. Philly fans, Dallas fans, you name it, Yankees fans.
If there was a TV in the tunnel of the Buffalo Bills stadium, Stephon Diggs probably would have broken it.
Yeah,
probably.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
So,
true.
Dude,
It's
I
true.
love how we tweeted out that video of Stephon Diggs freaking out at Josh Allen. Pretty much the caption said Minnesota fans have seen this before with like a laughing emoji. There's so many people like in our reply saying, "Well, of course you guys would fucking hate on him." Blah blah. Dude, all we were saying is that hey, we've seen this before. There was no hate in the tweet at all.
Well, and I did notice those same people were like reporters in Buffalo. It's like, hey, I get you're upset. Don't take that out on us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Don't take your anger out on us.
We're just being a reporter right here, reporting the facts. The
Yeah.
facts are.
You know-
this before.
You know your team's a failure.
Yeah.
We know it. We're just sharing some facts.
We're sharing what we've seen.
Yeah,
we're reporting the
Hey,
news.
we're failures too. No one wins. No one's winning this battle. Just don't
Yeah.
don't even try to make it a fight.
Yeah, I think last weekend just confirmed, if it already wasn't confirmed, that the Bills are just the AFC Vikings.
Yep.
Like
Oh,
100%. I mean, you're hyped up, really hyped up this season. You had a very close divisional game last year against Kansas City that went in overtime, and now you have a home game against, I know, the Super Bowl runner-ups, I should say, but at home, you're probably your best team in years, and you lose 27-10, wasn't it? 17 points. That's
especially with snow.
That's brutal.
Like I thought
should have the advantage.
when the snow started falling. I go Bengals plus 5.5 was a horrid pick. Nope.
I took Bengals money line just because I was like banking on the Joe Burrow train but then I'm like,
Yeah.
I could totally see the the Bills just running away
Damar
with it,
Hamlin was in the building.
Yeah.
At least I think it was him. There was so much snow.
Yeah, I'm
and
seeing all these rumors. Yeah.
there was so much snow in front of the camera that it was hard to see.
He was super covered up.
You got to think like the CBS producers were just swinging their fists like zoom in further. It's like there's still more snow there.
Focus.
There's still more snow there. I don't know how you're going to see them, but
I am curious, like, while we're on the topic, just real quick, especially because the teams in the NFC, I don't care for any of them. And then the AFC teams have, like, been there the past couple of years. Like, who do you guys want to see win the Super Bowl now?
I think I want to see
I guess
Joey
out of the
B to get
last
it
four,
done.
for me, it's Bengals.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I don't want to win. I don't want San Fran or Philly to win it.
Right.
I think I'll either want Kansas City or Bengals.
See,
agree.
I don't want Kansas City to win simply because I have a theory that Jackson Mahomes is holding in all of his TikToks for another Super Bowl.
Gross.
He's been doing him and Pat's wife have been doing their part in staying out of the internet and the spotlight and keeping all the embarrassment off of him. But I feel like in this discussion where he said we got to be done with the TikToks, he said you can start posting again if we win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And if they win the Super Bowl, all the drafts are coming out. And you're going to see Jackson on your timeline for like 10 days straight.
Yeah, I agree. It would be cool to see the Bengals win because,
too.
I mean, they're kind of the underdog in this situation. But also part of me wants the Chiefs because, I mean, Patrick Mahomes is insane. And I'm not saying that he's going to do what Brady did, but if he has the potential to, like, build a legacy like he did, like, it would be so cool to see again. So I kind of want to see them.
A legacy will start. Yeah, you'd have to probably win this year.
Especially
Get it going.
with an injury. He's got a sprained
Yeah.
upper ankle, which
And
is...
Chad Henne came in and he looked decent. It's
I
like,
forgot he was even alive.
yeah, he was another guy where it's like we talked to Barstool Chief a couple weeks ago. We were like, he's still in the league. Like there's guys like that
Yep.
that are just like, how is this? What? Still alive? Even?
Still on someone's payroll.
That dude hasn't played in forever, has been the backup for the Chiefs, and has played the last 2 games he's played has been in the playoffs, and he did great. Because remember when they played against Cleveland, he came in when Mahomes got hurt,
Yeah,
and he just did fantastic.
it's crazy.
What a life!
Dude, I honestly wouldn't mind even like I guess they're in our in the NFC, but the San Francisco 49ers, they haven't even won since '95. Like I wouldn't even mind if I would rather have them win in the NFC out of those two or the Bengals in the AFC.
It would be cool because of Purdy.
The Purdy story would be pretty
Yeah.
neat. Would be pretty neat. That just helps out all of us average people out there feel a little glimmer of hope. Like, hey, you can do it too. He was the last pick in the draft.
Yeah.
He could march their team to a Super Bowl without a single loss. Think about
Yeah,
it. If
he
he
went
gets
to-
the Super
he went-
Bowl, he's undefeated this year as a starting quarterback.
That's insane.
That's crazy. And he went to Jake's second favorite college too.
Iowa State.
Oh,
Yeah,
Cyclone
I mean, I did
forever.
I did two at Iowa State, so
that's kind of a big deal.
yeah. I mean,
I think you kind
sort
of.
of. I like Purdy.
I think you kind of fucked
I-
up.
I just
because,
think,
because
yeah.
you could have claimed that Super Bowl as yours.
You could have
Yeah,
been
could've-
Brock Purdy, actually.
No, hell no. What are you saying? I would have went down there and walked on and took over Brock Purdy's spot.
Hey, you
sure,
never
yeah,
know.
that could have happened.
He was
yep.
Mr. Irrelevant. You could have been Mr. Irrelevant, but the college version.
Yeah, sure.
True.
That's very true. Well, I still have eligibility, don't I?
Yeah,
Technically,
you have an eligibility.
sure.
You could
okay.
be the next Brandon.
I'm going to Iowa State.
Eligibility.
I'm taking my talents
it.
from 10,000 takes to Iowa State.
Well, there's going to be a quarterback battle in Minnesota this upcoming season because Tanner Morgan's gone. So I'm going to go up against Athan Kalakmanis.
Cockmanis?
Cockmanis.
Praying mantis.
Khaki
Cocky
Kalahari,
praying
praying mantis, yeah.
Kelly Calamari.
There's going to be
Praying
so
mantis
many
cock.
people who butcher his name this year, by the way, now,
Oh,
that,
yeah.
now that he's the official starter.
Love it.
But, all right, Jake, what do you got for your bit?
I have a good feeling about this bit. So this is actually stems from our very own Zooch.
Oh,
And this has been going on for a while, but this has to be talked about. So Zooch, if you don't know, is a part of our Wild Takes podcast, or Minnesota Wild-based podcast. So follow them; they do great stuff. But yeah, Zooch has been in like 10K now for a couple years, and great dude. But he seems to always get overly optimistic, and I think probably everybody probably does this, especially in Minnesota sports. And I've certainly done this, but he does it a lot. We notice it a lot, where he'll be like, "I have a good feeling about this, boys. I have a good feeling about this." Especially in softball, where we've gone maybe 2-36 in the last 2 years. Before we'll be 0-12 through a season. We'll be warming up. I have a good feeling about tonight, boys. We're 0-12. What do you have a good feeling about tonight? And then I know, Jack, you're going to get into it, but we participated in the Boot Hockey Classic, the XL Energy Center, this past weekend, which we'll get more into. But I know that Zooch, like the night before that, he was telling you, Jack, I think we can win this. I have a good feeling about this. Whenever you say that, or whenever someone gets overly optimistic about that in any sense, the opposite happens.
it got to the point where, like, during softball, it was like towards the end of the year, and he kept saying, like, dude, seriously, shut the fuck up. I'm here to hang out with the boys, and then we're all going to go over to Willie McCoy's and drink our faces off on a Wednesday night. This isn't serious.
I think naturally, being positive is actually a great characteristic.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, I think when it comes to sports, it just doesn't work.
It just bites you in the
Can't
ass.
do that.
At least here. And not only like
Minnesota.
Minnesota sports, but 10,000 Takes in general is just a horribly unathletic organization
Yeah.
that has a very poor track
There's no
record
consistency.
across the board, from softball to hockey to golf to we're not athletic, and
No.
that's why we're sitting here talking about sports and not out there playing them.
Yep.
So yeah, when he says stuff like that, you know what? I do appreciate the positivity, but it does get a little hard to rally behind when historically we've lost at everything.
Yeah.
But he was pretty close this time. He had a good feeling, and do you have anything else?
Well, no, I was just gonna say, in general, in Minnesota sports, I heard it not from Zooch, but from a lot of people with the Vikings. I have a good feeling about this. We're gonna go all the way. Don't say that. You know,
no.
and people do that all the time. But Zooch has done that, when historically we haven't been consistently. He wants us to win. We all want to win whenever we compete and things, but ultimately it's just not going to happen. But
Yeah,
we
so
transition.
he had a good feeling on Saturday morning, and he was partially right. We, in the 2023 first ever Minnesota Wild Boot Hockey Classic, played at the XL Energy Center. We did, in pool play, go 1-0-1. So we technically did not lose a game in the pool play, but getting into the semifinals, that leads into my bit, the 10,000 mistakes bit. We were only a 2-game team.
Yeah.
We did not have 3 games in us, let alone 4. We had to play 4 games. The last 2 were tough. But the funny thing about it was, for bracket play, to get in, we were in a pool of three teams, one of them being us. And only one team got in. We tied the first team, which was very odd. But then going into the second game, for the tiebreaker, we had to win in point differential, which is so ironic, by the way, because that's all people talk about with the Vikings all year. So it's like the last words I wanted to fucking hear at the tournament. But anyways, we had to watch another game go on and needed one of those teams to lose by less than 7. So we were sitting there cheering on the team that we had just beat to lose by less than 7, we're essentially betting on the spread. We're essentially betting on the puck line of another team to get into bracket play, and it happened. I think they ended up losing by 3 or 4. So we were sweating there for a second. We're watching the game on the bench, and if this team lost by more than 7, we were packing our bags and we were out.
Yeah.
Which was actually the I guess predicted result for most of us. We all thought we're going to be 2 games in and we're going to be on our way to Tom Reed's. But we made it into pool play, or we made it into bracket play. Bracket play did not go well. We were all gassed, tired, making mistakes, staying out too long.
We couldn't slip.
We
kept slipping.
We were sliding all over the goddamn place. It took us until pretty much game 3 to realize that we had to just kick off our shoes. Cam discovered it's like, get the ice that's stuck between the little patterns on your shoes, get all that out of there, and you're good. That was not the case because we were on a different rink, so it was kind of tough. Anyways, we made a lot of mistakes. We ended up getting killed in the last 2 games, taking 4th out of 12, which is not bad for us. Upper quartile.
There,
yeah. But 10,000 mistakes bit. The first 2 games are great. Zooch had a good feeling about those. Last 2 games were complete bloodbaths.
I will say I did talk to Zooch, I think, in the morning when he found out Zane wasn't going to make it, or you probably weren't going to make it, Zane. He looked at me and said no. So as soon as Zooch doesn't have a good feeling, we end up playing better. So we need to try to make sure. But he did the night before, though.
Yeah, well, the night before he's like talking about lines. I'm like, it's boot hockey.
Yeah.
We're not doing lines.
No, you can't move fast enough. It's so different compared to when you're on skates.
And just to paint the picture here, they had the XL Energy Center broken in half, and it was just boards to boards.
Yeah,
so
pretty much
side to side.
Yeah, it was definitely
the length of the length of the blue line.
Yeah, it was. We didn't play on the full rink.
So
that would have been.
And we were still so tired.
Well, if
did they have did you guys do like line changes, or does everyone is on the ice?
It was it was 4-on-4, and we had a total of 7 guys, so we did have to do changes. And I do think that last game, the last team we played, that the goalie was not all that great. We could have easily won that. I think we actually only lost by 4. It was like 13-9. We could have actually won that if we weren't fucking slipping. We were on the opposite side. It was a slippier rink. We couldn't go on the bench to wipe off our shoes, so it was even worse. We're not wearing broom ball shoes. The other team was wearing broom ball shoes, so it was like they were on skates. They were like almost skating around you, and you couldn't defend them. And we still only lost by 4.
It's ironic because, yes, we realize it's ice and it's slippery, but like the space in the slot got just so worn down from all the different games all day and all the different foot traffic that there was no grip there.
And our shoes, none of us were wearing, except Cam, you were wearing broom ball. You're the only one wearing broom ball
then
shoes.
again,
and you were still slipping.
Everyone on the bench was bitching about that, and I'm like, guys, we're all playing on the same sheet. They're slipping too, and they're still putting in Genos. So
they were moving a lot better than us, though. One couple of the guys were like moving around on me like they're on skates, and I would try to do the same thing, and I would fall on my hip, and now I'm bruised.
It was like, I will say, out of like all like the organized like, I guess like adult sports that I've done, like that was the most fun I've had, and it's not even close.
It was electric.
It was a blast.
I've thought about it like ever since. I'm like, I want to go play again, like right now.
It's electric that they let us play at the X. Like they didn't just host it at some other rink or something around the cities. That they allowed us to go into the XL, go into a locker rooms. We got free waters and Powerades and stuff like that. It was we got great treatment.
We got some really nice embroidered hats that have the Minnesota Wild logo on it and the tournament logo, and we got like those massive monster cookies. Mm-hmm. What's the brand of them?
I forgot.
T-Rex cookies. You can buy them at like Viking and Wild games for like $13 because they're that big, but they're these massive cookies, and everyone got one of those too. So overall, great event. If you see it next year, you definitely got to play in it.
We made it to a bracket play, and now the next 10K athletic event, I should say, is the Minnesotan Cup, which involves skates, which I am terrified for.
It's funny because we just did T-ball, and now you guys got to go play in the major league.
Yep.
Thank God I'm a coach.
That's basically the leap. Yeah, thank God I'm done.
Yeah, we're on the coaching staff.
I've retired.
And I want coaches to be just screaming at people too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm gonna
for no reason.
I'm gonna fuck you up.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah,
please.
I'm just like last year. I'm gonna get aggressively drunk. I'm gonna break clipboards and I'm gonna yell at you guys.
Yeah, I love it. That's what we need. Maybe it'll motivate some people.
About.
Sports.
But anyways, final bit on the Minnesota boot hockey tournament. Just don't let the people ever forget that we went undefeated in pool play, which is like the regular season. So we were undefeated in the regular season.
It's a true American underdog story.
Yeah.
We made it to the Final Four.
And if you ask about ties, I'm not going to answer. Played the 5th on ties.
I declined to comment.
Yeah. Did you tie? I don't know. You can look.
Look at the standings. Well, we can't find them. Well, that's too bad.
Should have been there. You would have had the answers.
Next question.
Yeah. All right, let's take a quick commercial break, and we'll get into our interview with Stephie Smalls. Are you looking to sports bet in Minnesota but don't know how? Well, we got the app for you. It's a Bit is proudly sponsored by the Better Edge app. If you don't know what Better Edge is, it is a legal online social betting marketplace that allows you to post and engage with other sports betting fans. Like, you can find me on there, journalist Jake is on there, producer Cam, Wags is on there. You can place no commission positions in an online marketplace, so they are not taking any of your money. Sportsbooks take up to 4.5% of all your winnings, which in my mind is highway robbery. Better Edge is not taking any of your winnings. You get to keep all of it. You can compete in direct head-to-head challenges with people like us. You can compete in public or private betting competitions. They have all sorts of awesome competitions, whether it's player props, NFL playoffs, NBA playoffs, NHL. Sometimes some 10K events we do on there. They do over-unders on like our golf tournament. There's a lot of unique competitions on there that you can enter with a fee and get a payout. And finally, you can buy or sell positions like the spread, the over-under, money line at current market prices. So if you want to get on Better Edge, find us on there. You can use promo code 10K at betteredge.com. You get a free $20 when you sign up and verify your ID. Once again, that's betteredge.com to get a free $20. And we'll start betting today. All right, welcome back to It's a Bit, folks. We're joined by a very special guest. We got Stephie Smalls. She's a gambling host and content at Champions Round, as well as a New York Giants fan. It's funny because we booked this like a month ago, and little did we know back then that your team would eliminate our team, and then your team would get eliminated like 2 days before we recorded. Is that a coincidence?
I know. Looking back, it's so funny now. It would have been like fun to go on that week, but now you guys get the last laugh because our team got eliminated.
Well, did we book this before the Vikings Christmas Eve game?
Yeah, I think this
the
was
61-yard field goal.
Yes, we did.
What before we get into the whole playoff situation, I mean, what was going on with Giants fans in that game after that happened?
The Christmas Eve game?
Yes.
Brutal. That was okay. And I struggle because those like people that do know me, and when I go on Paul out, I have like this really like I have a piece in my heart for Vikings, so I struggle with participating in any talking shit about Vikings. Like, I genuinely feel bad for the fan base. I think you guys have been through some brutal. At least I have some Super Bowls, and
Yeah, we haven't been in a Super Bowl since 1977, and we've never won one. So
yeah, it's like
sounds
I
horrible
can
when I
hold
say
on
it.
to my childhood, and like there's some good memories there. I joked after the Eagles game, what's it like to be happy? But yeah, Giants fans can be brutal a little bit.
Yeah, well, out of curiosity in that game, what was your honest thought of the whiteout? Did you think that was cool, or did you think it was dumb? Because people were kind of on the fence about it, it seems like, at least around the country.
I thought it was really cool. And I think also, I thought fans participated pretty well, but then it was like the few fans that weren't, it's like, what are you doing? Like, you kind of look silly.
He almost fucking left the house wearing purple.
Well, because I didn't have a white jersey. I was trying to buy like a white sweatshirt but they sold out of it. And
Yes.
I always wear the purple Kirk Cousins jersey. I have since I bought that damn thing for every game day. It felt weird. I wasn't against the idea of doing a whiteout per se. I thought it was cool. I just wanted to wear my purple jersey, but then I'm like, okay, yeah, I got to participate in this, and I did. So
I don't like being told what to wear either. Like, that's just like, if I want to wear like my blue jersey, I'm going to wear my blue jersey. Like, I don't want to participate with it. So I get that a little bit. It is cool. US Bank is my favorite stadium I've ever been to. I think it's a beautiful, beautiful stadium.
Well, I appreciate that. I know that I was talking to a couple Giants fans at the wild card game, and I was making small talk with them, and they're super nice, and they're from Jersey, and I just asked them, what do you think of US Bank Stadium? Like, oh, this is fucking awesome. The Meadowlands is a dump. That's what they told me. I don't know if it's actually a dump. I've never been there, but that's what they told me.
They've actually spent money on that stadium. Like, I'm embarrassed. So bad.
And they have to share it. I always thought it was goofy that, like, same with the Rams and Chargers, that these billion-dollar organizations are sharing stadiums. Like,
and they suck. Like,
yeah.
At least SoFi is nice. Like, our stadium is such crap. So, and we have a roommate, which is corny.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is weird. Like, then it's hard for us to conceptualize here in like one team markets where it's like, okay, Minnesota Vikings, they're the Minnesota Vikings, and you have New York Jets, New York Giants. I'm like, okay, how do you know who to root for? I mean, is there a certain rule over there in New York on how you root for? Like, because I know we were talking with Barstool Chief a couple weeks ago on the Cubs and White Sox. Like, South Side is White Sox, North Chicago is mainly Cubs. Not necessarily, but I don't know if there's a rule of thumb on who you cheer for in New York, and if you cheer for the Giants or if you cheer for the Jets.
Yeah, I think it's like more like where you land, like geographically, like within those. So I'm from Connecticut, actually, but I'm on the Connecticut-New York border closest to Manhattan. And you could have even been a Patriots fan. Like we're talking New England. So you could have done that. But traditionally, if you're like a family, it's usually you see Jets, Mets, Giants, Yankees. Like that's pretty standard, like to come across. But yeah, I don't think there is. I think it just depends, what you're raised. I can't imagine. I would have probably switched as a kid from a Jets fan to a Giants fan.
Yeah,
honestly, at some point, or a Patriots fan, right?
Yeah, it's hilarious that people actually still stand with the Jets. I mean, it feels like this year was the closest they've been in a while to having something, but still ended in just a big fiery explosion.
Yeah, you have to like credit the loyalty for sure.
Yeah, well, it's just funny that we mentioned like having to share the stadium because we did on Vikings pregame every Sunday. We did like a pregame skit, and we did for when we played the Jets. We did New York Airlines, and like surprise, we also share it with the New York Giants airline. Like, can you imagine getting on a plane? It's like, yeah, a bunch of people who flew Spirit just got off this one. It's like now you're flying Delta. Like what? It's just so goofy.
It is. It's very goofy. It's very corny.
Yeah. Well, really quick, tell us a little bit about you and kind of what you do. I know, everything you do with Champions Round, kind of in the sphere of sports betting. You go on PA, which is awesome. We're obviously good friends with PA and big fans of his. But yeah, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, PA is fantastic. Yeah, I, I was a med student, kind of got a full-time offer in the industry because COVID brought me back home and I was bored, back on Twitter talking shit about the Giants, and one thing led to another. Started, doing fantasy football on there, and then sports betting is where, landed me to Champions Round, and now I run the community and content over there, and it's been sweet.
Yeah, I mean, and sports betting in general, like we've just gotten into it in the last few years, and it's just such an exciting emerging industry. Like anyone who can work like a full-time job in it, that's kind of at least with 10,000 takes how we feel like we can do this full time. It's getting like the betting angle. So, that's why we're just big supporters of hopefully getting it legalized here in Minnesota. That's the first step.
That's the big thing we're waiting on here is getting it. I think we missed it by 3 votes last year.
I watched the live stream. It was more heartbreaking than the sports.
It's annoying.
I forgot that too, and every time I land there, because I've been to US Bank quite a few times, and every time I'm like, crap, I can't sports bet here. Like I should have put my bets in before I left.
You got to place it all in the airport.
You're you got to leave. No, I got a couple more bets. I can't decide this damn bet.
Yeah.
In 30 minutes,
and then
and
if someone gets injured the morning of the game, you're just fucked.
Yeah, you're like, oh, well.
I think I'm pretty sure I texted my brother. I'm like, sent him money. I'm like, can you put this bet in for me?
Yeah.
He's like, this is ridiculous. Like, I get it's your job, but I'm pretty sure you need to call the gambling hotline at this point. And I'm like, no, I want to put the bet in, and I can't put the bet in. So
that whole back and forth is what thousands of people in the state have to do. They have to text friends in other states to place bets for them. Or we use Better Edge, which is legal, but for the people who don't use that, do parlays and stuff, they have people in Arizona, California, wherever. So it's hilarious that your brother was like, I'm not doing that shit for you, when there are people out there who do that for everyone in the state.
Every single one.
It's so inconvenient. Yeah.
It is. Just legalize it. I don't know what are we waiting for? I don't know what.
And in the latest bill, they're 10% of it's going to go to youth sports. And there were people who had counters to that. It's okay, let me be a degenerate for good.
Yeah, come on. We're doing the it's ultimately we have people who are already going to the casino, spending a shit ton of money on slots.
Yeah.
Come on.
Ripping darts and pulling slots.
We're betting on
All
sports.
All people want to talk about is the economy. You want to help the economy? Just pass sports.
Yeah. It's nuts. I think the state of New Jersey in December raked in $98 million in profit on sports betting.
It was insane.
Yeah.
It was something crazy.
A lot of bad beats in there.
A ton of them. Because you get so excited. In Ohio, it just passed, and I have friends that were so excited. Then the end of the weekend, they were texting me. They're like, "This sucks."
Yeah.
Well, because they spray money line on the Columbus Blue Jackets tonight. Are you sure about that? It'll happen. No,
Right.
you're going to learn very quickly that
Yeah.
this is not how it works.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But well, really quickly going back to like people placing bets for us, you know, in Minnesota particularly, if like we go to Vegas every March for the first weekend of March Madness, you know, to bet on that stuff, because it's a blast down there in general. The viewing experience to watch those games is great. But as soon as you let some people know you're going to Vegas, you know, you're immediately the popular friend.
You got to keep it a secret.
Yeah, you almost, because people find out you're going to Vegas and they're in Minnesota or a non-gambling state. You're okay. Here's a list of my bets here. Here's a little list, and it's just, you know, every game a bet they want you to place on. They give you money, and it's crazy.
Sending you with a grocery list, but a betting list while you're like, I just want to go to Vegas myself. Leave me alone.
Yeah,
I'm on vacation, even though I'm doing this.
Yeah, exactly. Come on.
Well, do you have any locks for the divisional round? What
I
are you feeling this
haven't looked at
weekend?
them. I'm still in my depression from like this past week, and I need to do it because my own gambling show is coming up this week. But I'm torn. I want to root for the 49ers, but after watching the Eagles dominate us the way that they did, I have a really hard time believing that they won't make it past them.
Right.
I'm sad about it because I don't want to see them at all. It makes me sick.
Yeah, we'll get into your experience at the link here in a bit because I'm very curious on that. But just looking up the games here quick. So we have the Niners and Eagles. I believe, is this the Eagles minus 2.5? I'm guessing.
Yeah, they're minus 2.5, and I'm.
Okay. It opened at Philly minus 2. So.
Okay.
I don't know. It's kind of a toss-up. I think
you just don't know.
I don't know. I don't know with Brock Purdy. I don't know.
Because he's been winning, but then you're like, oh, well, with Philly and Jalen
I feel like
Hurts, they're
Dak
killing
lost.
teams.
I feel like Dak lost on Sunday. I don't know if Brock won.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how I feel too.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think that if CMC is in like, you know, he's being full on CMC and they're using Debo, honestly, the Eagles' run D is not that, like, that's where you could attack them, but are they actually going to do that? I agree. I don't think the 49ers won that game. I think the Cowboys lost that game.
I think the 49ers were finally exposed because they didn't put up a lot of points, and now they're going to they're going to Philly, and they're playing a Jalen Hurts who just, I roundhouse kicked, the Giants 38-7. Hate to say it. Who beat us 31-24 at home. So
and that stadium is loud. That's one thing I was shocked about. Like, even from coming from US Bank, which is obviously like one of the loudest stadiums freaking ever, the link for not being like, they will cut a song and you can still hear everyone singing like the lyric for lyric. It is so loud in there. I was pretty surprised, but I don't know. It's gonna come down. But is Brock Purdy really? I feel like they're keeping it very easy for him. Like, I think that he's having success because they're not putting him in situations to really fail either.
Right.
He has a stellar offensive line. I mean, San Francisco has had very good offensive lines. He's obviously good, and could be the quarterback of the future, and the Vikings will trade 2 first or a third rounder for Trey Lance, So
that's what everyone's saying.
That when it's usually everyone saying that means it's not going to happen. Yeah. People need to calm down. But I think you're right. I think Brock Purdy's time is going to come to an end, unfortunately, to the Philadelphia
It might, especially in the link. I feel like he's a little boy going into a stadium of grown men.
Yeah, he's had it easy.
If he does win, that's pretty cool. Though.
If he wins,
that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. I'd be Brock hard. Put it all on the 49ers at that point.
Well, my boss always jokes that once you start talking about a guy's Johnson, they end up winning the Super Bowl just like Nick Foles did.
Yep, exactly.
This whole theory that he's going to go to the Super Bowl and win because we're talking about his
right.
Johnson
yeah,
now.
Brock Hard.
The Brock Hard
Purdy
movement is alive and well, and it's funny because my first favorite team is the Colts. So it's so funny that you mentioned Nick Foles because, like, after they win that Super Bowl, they just die. They're gone.
Yeah,
that's it.
We would try to say, like, I think we try to say they should start Big Nick, and it's like that doesn't work anymore.
Doesn't work anymore.
He's not in the playoffs either.
But you wanted to work, and I went to college with him, so I went to U of A.
Oh, really?
Foles, yeah, and so it sucks because it's like I love Nick, and then he's like on the Eagles winning a Super Bowl, and I'm like, this sucks. I don't want to root for you, but I am rooting for you.
Yeah, that's a conflict of interest for you for sure.
It sucked. Yeah, it was bullshit, kind of.
Nick Foles.
I can't.
What a story.
It's so
38-7.
He caught the touchdown in the end zone, and Tom Brady didn't.
I thought. I know.
That's it. That's crazy.
And then.
That's all you need to know.
And that happened here.
I know.
It happened 20 minutes from our house.
And it was crazy when we were at the Vikings-Colts game, and you could see before the game, you just see Nick Foles down there in a backup position, not wearing a helmet, and he's at the same field he won a fucking Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And caught a football in the end zone, and here he is. Like, what the hell is going on? Vikings
What is going on?
Vikings can never win a Super Bowl, and you have Nick Foles winning it for the Eagles. It doesn't make any sense to me.
It's
the
crazy.
NFL is rigged.
Well, what do you guys think of 45.5 points? What do we think about that?
Oh, goodness.
Here's the thing. It depends how good we think that San Francisco's defense is, which I do think it's excellent. Fantastic defense. That's why I think they've gotten as far as they have. I think the over, because I think that the Eagles, if they were to start dominating, like, they could freaking get 30 on their own. Like, I don't think that San Fran could be far behind that. So I think I like the over in that game.
I think I do too. Yeah, 45.5.
Seems low, actually.
It does seem a little
It
low.
does.
With the Eagles.
I'm like scratching my head a little bit.
I think once again, going back to last week, they're still thinking of like Dak failing. They're like, whoa, that San Fran defense is so good. It's like Dak was throwing into 3 people.
Yeah, he was
throwing into triple coverage. Like, what do you expect?
Yeah. Or they're trying to catch us because the Giants D is like not good, so they think that you're gonna fall into it by taking the over.
Right.
So maybe they think it is gonna go under.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't like you, Vegas.
I know Vegas knows too well, and it's always funny because if you think it's too good to be true, it probably is, especially in sports betting.
And I'm still gonna take the over.
Yeah, it's more fun.
It's
way more fun to do that.
Hammer the over. They always say take the over and everything.
Yep.
Fuck it.
The second game, AFC Championship, we have Kansas City opening at 2.5 against the Bengals. What do we think of that?
I mean, it's not a neutral site anymore, right? Because they would have did the neutral site game if it was Bills Chiefs.
Yeah,
right?
because Bills Stadium is essentially a snow globe at this point.
Yeah, exactly.
And Mahomes is what, like 3-0 against the Bengals or something?
Yeah,
crazy like
they
that?
won like the last 3 or 4.
Gosh, I just can't imagine. It depends, I guess, a lot on Mahomes' health, which at this point I do think some of it is a little bit of a smokescreen. Like, I think they're milking it a little bit. I think probably using it to their advantage, if anything. But the Bengals got hot at the right time too. Like, they look very good. So and the Chiefs D is not awesome. I still am gonna lean the Chiefs. I don't know what they are in the money line, but I might stay away from that spread, to be honest. I probably lean. Is it the Chiefs are favored?
Chiefs are favored by 2.5. And actually, I think the Bengals have beat the Chiefs the last 4 times. So
that's what I meant.
Yeah, Joe Burrow owns the Chiefs.
I'm still coming off my like Philly.
Oh, I get it. I get it.
I
Yeah.
had like 3 naps today, as you can tell.
I don't blame you.
Yes. That's exactly it. And I think I lean taking the Bengals 2.5 there, but I don't know. If I had to take a side, that's what I would do. But I took the Chiefs to go from the start, and I just feel like that's the way that this cookie's going to crumble.
Yeah. Well, I mentioned before you came on, the only reason I don't want the Chiefs to win this game is because I feel like Jackson Mahomes and Brittany have been like stockpiling TikTok since they're not allowed to post during the season.
Yep.
And there was like an exception where if they win the Super Bowl, they are allowed to upload TikToks again. And they've been just stockpiling them for the celebration.
Maybe I do want to be back on.
Yeah.
The Bengals
So
train.
that's something to throw in your head there.
Yeah, and I think she posted something the other day, and he was like, "All right, Brittany, calm down," or something like.
You're done.
I just love how
That's enough.
Patrick.
I tweeted probably like 3 months ago, like, where Jackson Mahomes has been really quiet. Please, like,
strangely,
wherever he is, leave him there.
It's like they just threw him in the middle of Costa Rica, and they said, "We'll come pick you up in 3 months or something."
They dropped him off
in
in
the Super Bowl, but we're taking your phone.
Yeah, and then they eventually go back to retrieve him. And he's doing some dances in front of a tree or some shit.
Yeah, because he's like he's lost his mind.
Yeah, it's like
been surviving on coconuts for the last year.
Goodness gracious!
It's even worse than when they dropped him off.
Yeah,
he'll look like Tom Hanks in Castaway.
Yeah, and maybe he changed his ways.
Maybe.
We'll see a new Jackson Mahomes, but it might come down to who we're gonna see win in the Chiefs Bengals game and who we can create the who out of the quarterbacks can we get a good nickname out of? Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes. Can't make a really good joke about any of them.
No,
not like a Brock Purdy one.
Well, just Joey B is just
with the cigar.
He's just cool himself.
Yeah, Joey B, Macaulay Culkin.
Cool. But Eli Apple sucks.
He
so
does
it's
suck.
It's so annoying. Like it's God, he's ruining the whole Bengals thing that we all love them and everyone's. And then Eli Apple just has to be the bad apple.
I know, and it's like I kind of want to see him get torched now. And just see the drama that would unfold on his Twitter account if he
they
lose.
Oh, Diggs will go after him.
Yeah.
Well, wasn't Eli Apple on the Giants?
Yes.
He used to be on the Giants.
His mom probably has, oh my God, I bet 10,000 Giants fans blocked. She was a lunatic and I wasn't even on Twitter for like most of it. And I know, like people were posting stuff the other day of like responses that she would have. She goes hard for her son, but anytime something happens, it's like, hi mom, can you help again? Like the Twitter trolls are being mean.
Sounds like Eli Apple's mom to Giants fans is our Tim Brewster.
I was about to say the same thing. I wonder who has blocked more people. I don't know. Do you know who Tim Brewster is?
I don't.
Oh goodness, he's our former. He was the he was the Minnesota Golden Gopher football coach for the U of M from like 2007 to 2010.
We wouldn't expect you to know him because he did a very bad job.
Yeah, and now he's on Deion Sanders' staff. He was on his staff in Jackson State. Now he's on his staff in Colorado. And there was a viral video that went around of him yelling at the students in like the film room, like it was a fucking military, like it was the military. Stand up!
Oh my God!
And they stand up and. That was just horrible, and this guy is still coaching. And he came in his first press conference at the U of M where we have not been to a Rose Bowl since 1960 and said, "I promise I'm going to win a Rose Bowl here." Fucking moron.
I think someone told me this. So for background, I am like surrounded by Vikings and Minnesota fans, just like somehow managed. That's like my life now. So I think someone was talking about this the other day, ironically.
Yeah, Stephanie,
I'm
like
sure.
if you ask him to block you, like he'll block you. Like that's how easy it is to get blocked.
I might have to like have a couple of drinks and like get into a fight with him on Twitter.
Do it, yeah. It's at I think Coach Brewster. Just be like, I think you don't know football, and I think
I'm gonna be like,
and then just count.
Big asshole.
Yes, and then start a stopwatch and see how long it. I guarantee it's about 9 minutes flat.
Okay,
Well,
I'm gonna do it.
Okay.
Or do one of his. He was also known as an idiot. I forgot to bring up because he had all these stupid terms and catchphrases. He would say, "You got to keep that chili hot. If you're hungry or you're starving, or if you're gonna go hunting, you got to be prepared to get the bear." He'd say this stupid shit. So if you just tweet at him, say like at Tim Brewster, keeping the chili hot, he'll probably block you.
Yep.
Okay.
Give it a shot and keep us posted on the results.
Yeah, because you'll join the club.
Yep.
It's an elite club.
I want to be part of it.
Yeah, it's hashtag blocked by Brew. All the Twitter people know what it means.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah. It's like the latest fab here in Minnesota,
it is.
I guess.
That's cool.
But really
I want to
quick.
be part of it.
Yeah, absolutely. 47.5 over under. I think this is another over.
Oh, yeah, it might be. I mean, but
you want the over so bad, especially in these types of games. Like
they just haven't really been
the
hitting.
Over though, I think that's the only way I see this game going.
Yeah.
maybe just hammer the
They
over
still
both
have good
games.
enough defense. Like honestly, I don't
Right.
think.
It seems like the AFC games are always a shootout. That's what I
Yes.
feel like. The NFC games
Last
are always
couple
like
years.
these defensive, strategic, and then the AFC is like who can score more touchdowns.
Yeah, it is kind of like on brand that way now.
Yeah.
I feel like Kansas City always puts up a shit ton of points in Arrowhead, though. And then Joe Burrow is going to put up points.
Yeah.
For sure. It's going to be a close game.
The Chiefs have struggled to cover at home this year, surprisingly. Like, I don't have it in front of me, but they surprisingly have struggled to cover the spread, especially when it's bigger, though. That's not as large as the ones that they weren't covering. But they had a lot of really close games this year.
They did. Yeah. And every time that they had like a massive spread, like 6.5 and above, they would never cover it. So
Never.
like they didn't cover last
Texans,
week, and I made the mistake of taking them 8.5. They didn't do it. They were close, but they didn't do it.
Well, Jack, you should be taking the Chiefs so they can win the Super Bowl so you can say the Colts beat the Super Bowl champs.
Yeah, true.
Because they did beat the Chiefs early
Indianapolis
in the
Colts
year.
beat the Chiefs. People forget.
should.
I don't want to see
Yeah.
Jackson do TikToks, though.
No, I know.
Gosh.
Yeah, but won't he?
I think I would take Eli Apple over.
True, because we got that one too.
Family.
Okay, so
I don't know.
I think I'm gonna bet the Chiefs. All right.
All we know though, from our conversation is these are should be close or very good games, good matchups. NFC, AFC.
Yeah.
Doesn't have the Vikings in it, but that's okay. We live on.
That's all right. Next year.
Or the Giants.
Maybe.
The always next year motto is just.
Yeah.
It's the best.
We love it here.
It sucks, right? Yeah.
Always next season, sure.
Ours kind of died off though, because we actually haven't been good for like a while. So
yeah.
I'm like, no one was ever saying next year. Like we were just like, okay, I hope we get 5 wins next year. Like
5 years.
3, 4, 5 wins. Like.
Well, with Dable, you guys got such a bright future. I mean, he's definitely the guy. I mean, I don't think anyone expected this year.
No.
So I mean.
No. They
his
did not
first
have
year.
enough talent really to they had no business being in that game last weekend, but it's a testament to what their future is, which is cool.
Well, yeah. What's the name of your betting show?
Smalls Talks Balls.
love the name. You can listen to that for her official picks.
Yeah,
but we laid out some good evidence today. We planted the seed.
We started. Hopefully, we gave people good advice.
And now I don't have to do as much research. Like
I
talked it through the initial. Now I can get the numbers. You guys helped me very much, so this is good.
Follow-up question: Smalls talks balls. Does she talk puck though? Do you talk puck?
Balls.
Not a lot, honestly. I'm a Rangers fan, but I don't talk a lot of puck.
That's fine. That's all right. We're in Minnesota, so we always forget that everywhere else in the country, they're not as hard about hockey as us.
We're the state of hockey.
Yeah, so we're naturally gonna.
I wanted to. I'm always in limbo once NFL ends, and then I kind of switch gears to PGA more than anything.
Oh yeah.
So that ends up being what takes over and distracts me from whatever nonsense will happen this off season.
Yep.
But getting into the puck line is fun though.
Yeah.
The over under puck line.
I'm gonna pick your brains about it.
Did you at least get into the Eastern Conference Finals last year? No? Okay.
The Rangers
were
boring.
In there. I'm like a disappointment, right?
No, I mean...
I watched a few. Yeah, I did. I watched some of it, but I didn't get to gamble on it, which isn't as fun.
Yeah. No, but then again, once again, we're Minnesotans are a different breed. So when people say they don't talk puck, we're very cordial about it. We get it.
Yeah. I apologize for disappointing you guys a little bit.
That's okay.
No, we're upset now too.
Yep.
We can't talk puck. We can't talk.
You guys should be upset with me. I probably could have bullshitted a little bit with you, but I just wanted to be honest.
You could have thrown out McDavid. You'd be like, McDavid's good. That's all you have to say, and we'll be like, she knows puck.
Over an assist tonight.
I would have regurgitated back basically what you said in some different form.
Yeah. Well, we like the Rangers. We got Ryan Reeves from the Rangers, so we like the Rangers for that.
Fucking man, crazy dude.
Yeah,
I love it.
My mom is a huge Rangers fan, so she probably will be very disappointed if she watches this that I said that I don't talk puck.
Yeah.
You know what? It's 2023. Everyone's doing the New Year's resolutions. That could be your goal. You could be like, I want
to talk more puck.
Talk a little puck.
I'm going to.
There you
I'm
go.
going to do a puck segment this week. I'll pull
yes.
some puck out.
Look at that. We have 2 things for you to do now. You're going to get blocked by Brew. You're going to talk puck.
Yeah, talk puck. And also tell New York Rangers fans to pronounce Matt Zuccarello's name correctly.
Yeah.
It's not Zuccarella. It's Zuccarello. It's with an O.
Oh,
I've heard some announcers. I remember listening to a broadcast earlier this year and last year when the Wild were playing the Rangers, and this announcer kept saying Zuccarella. It's O. It's an O in the name, so
Does
Zuccarello.
that drive you crazy?
A little bit.
It drives me crazy when people announce names wrong.
Clearly, I think this guy just has a New York accent. I don't know who the color guy is. I forgot who it is. He's saying Zuccarella. I think that's just how he says it. He probably knows it's with an O. But it's like, okay, bro. It's Zuccarello, okay?
Yeah.
Enunciate.
Bro. Yeah, enunciate it, Zuccarella.
Use your word.
Yeah.
It's clearly a trigger for Jake.
It is.
Yeah. It is. It's okay.
Going back to football, though, you did tweet that the Vikings fans are worse than Eagles fans. Is that still true? Does that hold up?
It holds up for just that last game, because I was getting booed relentlessly at the last game, which was so funny. But no, Vikings fans, I think on Twitter, if that's When did I tweet that? I was probably drunk and mad.
I was just thinking that. I'm like, I think you tweeted that.
Sounds like a very drunken, like mad tweet. No,
like fuck Vikings fans.
Yeah,
fuck
like,
these people.
It's their fault.
Yeah.
I got very irritated by something. My camera is going crazy right now. I'm trying to fix it quick. I must have been irritated by something. No, Eagles fans are delusional, like, and they have every right to be, which is almost annoying. Like, it's annoying that they're good.
Yeah.
Well, they eat horse shit. I mean, we bring that up all the time.
Yep.
I mean, so right there, like, you can't. There's no debate. I will say though, I would not blame you if you say or have, tweet that out, especially if you're drunk. I do that as well about the Vikings. But Vikings fans on Twitter are borderline stupid sometimes and just toxic.
I got I saved a bunch of receipts, but then like I kind of felt bad because I do, like I said, like have like a weird soft spot for Vikings fans, so I didn't end up like going back and like favoriting and liking everything, because that's my move now, is like I just do receipts instead of like piling on, and then I'll wait and then I go back and I just like it, just so you know. I remember you said this and you were fucking wrong.
Yep.
And I was right. But I didn't go back, but some of the messages I was getting like the week of the game, I was like, guys, we just played Christmas Eve and it like was a close game. Like, I don't think everyone's saying you're gonna I don't think you're blowing us out by any means.
Well, it was funny because the night before, when the Niners beat the Seahawks, there were Vikings fans being like, well, looks like we're going to San Fran next week. I'm like, no, we're playing in Minneapolis against the Giants tomorrow.
We have a wild card game. Yeah, there are people we know. Our buddy Eli.
Yeah.
I just want to be able to play San Fran. I just want to try to get by San Fran. We haven't even played our wild card game yet. What the fuck are you talking
against
about?
a team that we had to make a 61-yard field goal to beat.
Where we have a horrendous defense, which we knew going into that game. Some people clearly didn't know that because they were like stunned that we lost. It sucked, but I said this last week. I was at the bar before, kind of laughing, like we're gonna lose this game. I said it under my breath, and only a couple people heard me say it.
Yep.
But there's so many delusional people that just think we were gonna blow them out in a wild card game, and they're already looking forward to the next game. Yeah, you were getting shit on after the 61-yard field goal game winner on Christmas Eve?
No, not Christmas Eve.
Oh.
This was after we won, which is all fair.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I get it. That sucks. Like, I felt bad.
See, I've never been about giving a fan like shit out of nowhere if they beat us. Like, I went up to Giants fans after that. I talked to, good luck in Philly next week. This is a good game. Now, if someone starts talking shit to me, which has happened before, coincidentally, I've probably gotten more arguments with Vikings fans about Kirk Cousins more than opposing fans' teams.
I think I've gotten in fights more Vikings fans about Kirk Cousins is not even my quarterback.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, I don't think I talked about this last week, but after the game, there were some, because I was dressed in the Kirk apparel stuff or whatever, and I was walking out of the stadium, and this guy in front of his kid, hey, nice game, asshole. Like, go pray to your God, wearing a Vikings jersey. And he has this 4-year-old kid next to him. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
Literally. That's how I understand. Like, especially when there's like a kid there. First of all, just because someone's wearing a jersey, like, what are we doing here? Like, we need to calm down just slightly.
Like, holy shit. Like, we played a bad game.
You're yelling at a stranger.
Yeah. And this was the same fan. I mean, there was some Giants fans that were kind of, doing some little jabs and little burns, but it was friendly. And then a Vikings fan was the one who gave me the worst fucking shit. Like, what are you doing? Like,
well, I was so embarrassed. I was sitting next to, I didn't know him, a Giants fan he was so, God, he's probably going to see this, but whatever. He was so annoying during that game, so obnoxious. At one point, I was like, I'm begging you to sit down. Like, it's like too close of a game. You're doing the skull chant and like, you're starting to piss me off. Like, just sit down. Like, we're not talking shit right now. Like, there's nothing. Just watch the game for a little bit, please.
Yeah. Some people, yeah. Question though, did you participate in a trolling skull chant at any point?
I did not.
Really? That's surprising. I feel like as an away fan, that's kind of a rite of passage if you beat the Vikings. Is like, because like for a chant like the skull chant, it's so cool, but it also has the potential to be so funny when they fall flat on their face, which they did.
I think
I
is
felt
stupid.
dirty doing it because I've been to that stadium like wearing Viking stuff and done the skull chant like cheering for them. So it's like I felt wrong doing it as like, oh, now like we're beating you. I'm not wearing Viking stuff, so let me mock you.
Right.
To me, though, it looks like you're just being a Vikings fan. You're doing the skull chant.
Right.
You're a Vikings fan. I don't know. I get what people are trying to do, but like I think I would never do like an opposing team's bit. Although I do go Pack, go home. Tell them to go home,
That's
but
funny,
I don't flat out say go Pack, go. Which the first game of the season, I forgot there were some Vikings fans like go Pack, go, like sarcastically saying it, but you're chanting for the Packers.
You are chanting their
Cheering
chant.
Stop.
for them.
You're doing their
So
chant.
when I see the skull thing and they're going skull, I know you're mocking us, but you're saying skull and doing the action. You're cheering. You're doing the Vikings chant. Like you're supporting us.
You're contributing. I don't understand that. Some of like the ways that these people go back about like shit talking or whatever you're trying to do, it just is not working.
I will say the last couple times now that I've last 2 playoff games I've now been to at US Bank Stadium, the wild card game this past a couple weeks ago, and then the Minneapolis Miracle game, I saw 2 different fan bases and 2 different teams do the mocking skull chant, and both teams proceeded to have bad luck after that. The Saints, I know, what was the coach?
Sean Payton.
Sean Payton. He was doing the skull chant. Players were doing the skull chant. Then the Minneapolis Miracle happened.
Yep.
And then I saw a ton of Giants fans doing the skull chant, and they lost 38-7 the next week. So I think the lesson is don't do the skull chant to mock the Vikings if you do beat them. Might be bad karma. I don't know.
Yeah, it's bad juju.
Bad juju.
It is because the Vikings lose.
Yeah.
And if you do that, you're going to lose too.
You're doing the chant. You just cursed yourself. Like
You're now a Viking. Now
You
your
played
team
yourself.
Are the Vikings?
Yeah.
Like,
your team became the Vikings.
You have become that guy.
Yeah, we
at
like
that point.
It's kind of like a curse we put on other teams. Well, if we lose, you're going down with us. So we make that catchy enough that the other team does it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's
God.
how it is.
It's so bad.
Uh,
Really quick, do you think, just while we're on the Vikings-Giants, do you think the Vikings helped Danny Dimes get a contract extension?
Did he get that?
Not yet,
Not
but
yet. Oh,
like,
but-
yeah.
Yeah.
do you think it's going to be a
Probably. He
contributor?
also, I think he started picking things like Christmas Eve game is when he started like putting it together and people were like actually really giving him respect. I think he was getting one regardless because quarterback play is just so shitty across the league. And what people don't realize is you're better off sticking with a guy like Daniel Jones, who is then like half of the guys right now that you could possibly go out and get. You're at least getting consistency, and now you have a coach that has, knock on wood, hopefully fixed his turnover stuff. But yeah, the Vikings definitely, that last, to win a playoff game is huge for a team that has not won one in years.
I said it last week. I took a prop on Daniel Jones over because I knew he was going to go off. After I saw him on Christmas Eve, I'm like, he's going to tear this defense apart even worse this time around, and he did.
He did, and totally expected.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one was not that we don't think Daniel Jones isn't a good quarterback in Minnesota. I think he kind of gets a lot of the rep, kind of like a Kirk Cousins in a way. But our defense sucks. Like I knew he was going to put up a lot of yards and it was going to be a close game, So
Yeah.
But I thought
defense is
Donatell's gone. Can't cover the spread. Donatello's out like 2 days later.
God.
It's incredible.
God. That's the other thing. I remember Vikings fans getting into a fight with me. I tweeted probably like, oh God, like week 4-ish. I think I tweeted like, Donatello has to go or this team is getting knocked out of the playoffs again. Like this is what it's going to come down to. People were like, this isn't the defense's fault. Donatello's, this defense is good. Your defense was not good. That was a problem throughout the season. So
I think some people get into the argument that the players on our team, the physical defensive players we have are good players. They're good athletes. We have Hunter, Harrison Smith, Eric Hendricks. They're smart veteran players, but clearly the scheme was just horrible, and they weren't bought into it, or they weren't figuring it out. And Ed Donatello didn't change anything. It was just awful. There were we did have some bad defensive players.
But it is hilarious because like you and plenty of other people knew that like early on, but there were so many Vikings fans who denied it the entire year. They're like, no, they're gonna figure it out. Like,
no,
never. And then even Ed Donatello himself before the Giants game says, I think you're going to like what we're going to show on Saturday. And I said it. I'm like, this is not good. When someone resorts to saying this, that means that they're out of tricks and they're just going to – all they can do is talk, and that's it.
I didn't have a good feeling about it. I I thought they would have stopped them maybe one or two more times or figured out the crossing crossing slants a couple more times. But I wasn't surprised we lost like that. I mean, that just, oh my goodness, our defense was literally like 32nd in the league in most categories.
Yep.
It just, you can't do
It
that.
can't be worse next year.
You're right. Yeah, all you can do is go up from here. You're right.
Unless they get a couple more expansion teams in the NFL, and then we go down to 34.
Yeah.
Rankings.
Yeah, then you're down.
Then we're
That's
down
fair.
again.
Yeah.
No,
possible.
That won't happen though, of course, obviously.
But how was Philly? So you got to live on another week as a fan, and you were at the link. I think you were sitting really close to the field, right? Were you like row
It
one?
was front row again.
God
yes.
damn.
I got very lucky to watch both playoff games. The second one was not as fun, front row.
Yeah. Give us the whole story, because like I mentioned, I'm curious what the experience is like in the link as an away fan.
So I forgot my blue jacket accidentally. Like, who goes to Philly and forgets their jacket? I was in a rush there for whatever. So I had to buy a jacket. There was nothing that I could find that resembled the Giants color. So I was wearing a black jacket. So I did not get as much shit as I think I would have, because I heard a lot of Philly fans like just chanting, like, I mean, they were ridiculous, like telling people to go fuck themselves.
Of course.
Yeah. Daniel Jones needs to like jump off something. Like, they were being crazy for sure. There was one guy in the stadium that was dressed like Austin Powers, and he was in my face like towards the end, and I'm like, you definitely need to leave. Like, he jumped over because these guys next to me left. Actually, the Tish family was randomly sitting next to me.
Damn.
And they went up to the box, whatever, but he was in my face chanting like, time for your team to go home, blah, 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 whatever. And then he called me the B word, and that is where I was like, we're going to draw the line here.
Yeah.
Security already was on it. But he ended up apologizing. But yeah, I heard the, way up where, who knows what happens in that drunk area of the stadium. My one friend that brought his little kid there that I know from Twitter was like, we had to leave like end of second quarter.
That's so bad.
Not going well. That sucks too.
That's
You
sad.
bring your little kid there. His kid's like 3 years old. I've known him on Twitter for a little bit, like just since I got started, and I missed him at the last game, and he goes to every game, and he brings his 3-year-old, like his little kid there, and he was like, yeah, we couldn't sit through it.
That's crazy, especially for the money you pay going to an NFL playoff game that you have to leave.
I know.
But I'm not surprised. We're talking about the same stadium that has a fucking jail
I
in
know.
it, because so many people are degenerates and get arrested.
Before I was going there, everyone's like, don't get assaulted. And I'm like, I can't believe the overwhelming feeling about the link is your chances are very high to get assaulted. Like,
Yeah.
Do you know how not casual that fucking is?
Yeah, like I like my chances on Skid Row better than the link.
Seriously.
They used to have a court in there too, like, or something crazy. Like, that's out of control. But yeah, they get rowdy. I think I'm probably very lucky that I did not have my Giants jacket on.
Yeah, I think that's very
Oh,
convenient.
man.
You forgot your jacket. Like,
Yeah,
I think that
yeah.
might have actually saved your life in some manner.
I think it did.
Yeah, you would have had the experience like the videos we saw in 2018 where Vikings fans, it literally looked like they were going down a red carpet surrounded by Eagles fans just yelling stuff at them, throwing trash at them as they're like walking into the stadium. I think this was before the game even happened. Like, that's just horrible. What are you doing?
It's terrible.
Because I was so far up that I think you kind of eliminate like maybe some of that. Like, because if someone threw a beer on me, like I was ready. I had my hair up going into the game. I'm like, this is about to be the worst night of my life. Like,
Yeah, you
I know
knew.
we're losing. Like, I know I'm either getting beer thrown on me. I don't know I'm gonna get verbally assaulted, maybe physically assaulted at this point. So I definitely didn't have as bad of an experience, but I know people that did. So they're very passionate there.
I love how, that's what we'll call
We
it.
can call it passionate.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's call it passionate. That's a more politically correct word probably to put it.
Right,
So.
yeah.
Yeah. They have a lot of passion there at the link.
A
Oh,
lot of passion,
jeez.
so much passion they assault you.
Yeah.
Did you guys see the video of like the Bengals fans there a couple weeks ago that are just getting pelted with snowballs?
Really?
I
Yeah.
did.
Oh.
That's insane.
It was like
They're Bengals.
It was like 30 snowballs a minute for 2 minutes straight. It was insanity. These people were just caked in snow, and there's nothing security can do because everyone's throwing them.
Yeah, and there's
You
snow all
can't-
around.
Can't kick out everybody.
Yeah. Can't
and
just
they
melt the
bought,
snow.
so the fans bought, they like beat the system because they weren't supposed to be able to tailgate. But what they did was they bought tickets to the lacrosse game that was there in the morning. So people were tailgating from like 8:30 in the morning till the freaking game. So do you know how obliterated all these people are?
Oh my God! And it was a night game.
And it's in Philly.
What? Well, why weren't they allowed to tailgate? Is it some sort of anti-American deal like what happened at SoFi?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, which was total crap. I think that maybe they just know how crazy it gets there, and they don't start opening the gates till a little bit later.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I always love the pictures of like city officials putting Crisco on the light poles.
Mm-hmm.
And they're gonna have to do that this weekend because once they get to the NFC Championship, like win or lose, they riot.
I can't imagine what that game's going to be like this weekend in another NFC Championship game. And
yeah, it was and going out after the game, like people are passionate. It's I'm just gonna say passionate from now on. Like that's gonna be the Eagles fans are very passionate.
Yeah, they're passionate.
Yep, that's the appropriate way to do it. I like it, but everyone knows what you're saying.
Yeah, they're
it's
passionate.
More of a fuck you kind of.
Yeah, you guys are passionate. Cool. That's the code word. That's how you want to. That's how you want to address them in Philly too. They won't know.
Oh, you guys are passionate. You see the video of the old woman, the Vikings fan, screaming in that guy's face. He's like, "Go Birds!"
Yeah,
it's like that's passion right there. That guy loves That guy must love football.
A football guy, a family man, right there.
Yeah, exactly.
Family man.
Yep.
Oh shit. Well, Jake, did you have any other questions?
You know, I guess I don't. Well, I do see the you have the "You're Killing Me" Smalls like placard behind you there. So are you a baseball fan then? Like, what team do you follow for baseball?
Baseball, I am a Yankees fan. That comes from obviously my handle. So Smalls is not my real name, but it kind of caught on. Now everyone says "You're killing me, Smalls" to me.
So Yankee Stadium has a very passionate vibe as well. Do you get into those antics?
Passionate. Yeah, it's fun. Okay, that's good passion though.
Yeah.
Passion.
That's appropriate passion.
Do the Mets have more passion than the Yankees, or the Yankees have more passion?
Okay, so I think the Mets have more passion, like probably Eagles passion, but that's also coming from a biased Yankees fan, I would say. I actually have never been to the Mets. I've never been to a Mets game.
Okay. Yeah.
Either way, they're in New York, and they both seem like they'd be absolutely electric. And if there's any telling, if there's anything telling from Frank the Tank from Barstool on,
doesn't
his
sound like you're
passion
missing much
about the Mets, that's probably encapsulates a lot of what the fans are out there, especially for the Mets.
It is also funny too that you're a Yankees fan because I think half of your roster used to be like a Minnesota Twin at some point. So we're basically like your minor league system. Yeah,
it is.
So it works, and then they win championships there, and we of course don't win anything. Well, it's the one sport we have won championships at, but not in our lifetimes.
Nope.
One day.
3 years before I was conceived, we won the World Series. That's it.
Wait,
I'm
what?
Rooting for you.
94.
91.
90. Oh shit.
We won in 91.
6.
I was
bad.
not even.
That's bad. I didn't even know.
I wasn't even a thought.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Sometimes you don't want to talk about it. Like you just want to, it happened. Just you don't need to know how.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we won a World Series. Yeah.
I just remember it happened in the 90s twice. Well,
87 and 91. So we won 2 World Series.
That era.
My mom was 10.
Your mom was 10 years old, Cam?
Yeah.
My mom told me she was, I don't know if she listens to this, but she told me she was at Game 7 of the 87 World Series and barely remembered it.
Yeah, I don't blame her.
She just remembers, I just remember the catcher was cute.
Okay.
Which was Tim Laudner or whatever his
That's
name
fair.
Was. Yeah.
Yeah.
But she had fun, though. She at least experienced a championship.
Yep.
And my father did, too. Never. Yet.
Yeah. I got the UND hockey title. That's all I got.
I think actually saying the word "yet" is very optimistic. I almost shouldn't even say that. Yeah, you got UND hockey title.
Yeah, I got one. But
there you go.
That's puck. University of North Dakota is good at puck.
Puck is my 2023 goal.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to talk puck.
Love it.
But the Gopher hockey, maybe they'll do something this year.
We'll see.
We're relying on them to do something.
All right, well, really quick, Stephanie, this has been a blast. Before we let you go, we got to hit you with our rapid fire questions. They're just 10 questions. Just hammer them as fast as you can. You ready?
Cool.
All right. You're on a deserted island for the rest of your life. You only get one choice of alcohol. What is it?
Watermelon High Noons.
Damn, good choice.
specific, and those are really good.
And those are hydrating. There's water in them.
Yeah.
And vitamin C
You live longer.
or something.
Yeah, something.
Tropical.
Yeah, fruits in there.
Yeah.
How many fourth graders could you fend off in self-defense?
I'm not very big. Oh my God. Not 3.
3 of them. 3 of them at the. What if they were Philadelphia fourth graders?
Oh,
Passionate Eagles fan.
passionate fourth graders.
Half of a passionate Eagles fourth grader. Okay, name a first world problem bugging you at the moment.
That's a good one. Crap. Oh my God. I don't have what the hell is a first?
You could say your team being eliminated.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because sports fans are like, my life sucks. My team's out of the playoffs.
There's
It's
someone
like,
that can't eat.
there are people
somewhere across
starving.
the world.
yeah.
Yeah, probably the Giants not being able to win more than 2 playoff games.
Yep.
Oh, that's too bad. We can't even win a playoff game.
Oh God. Well, would you rather slap a random baby or your own grandma?
Oh my God, that's horrible. A random baby.
Okay.
Oh, you're a terrible person. No,
Oh,
I'm kidding.
horrible. You're a passionate person.
I love my grandma.
Yeah. Does pineapple belong on pizza?
No.
Correct. If you were given an all expenses paid trip to Edmonton, would you take it?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can see Puck there.
Yeah.
They got the Oilers.
Yeah.
Oilers,
It's
Connor-
part of my 2023 puck.
Exactly.
Connor McDavid.
Yep. McDavid plays there. If your laptop could speak, what would it say?
You need to be quiet.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
Fair.
What's the worst fast food place?
Popeyes.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, no,
That's
fair.
that's a good answer. We hate Popeyes here, too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Same.
If a movie was made about your life, who would play you?
Good one. These are good questions.
They're tough. They're
We're
hard-hitting.
journalists.
Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Okay.
Yeah. You definitely resemble. You
I
look
can
like
see
her.
it.
Yeah.
I can see it.
I can see it.
Yeah. I went with more like it would probably have to be someone funnier than her, but
Yeah.
The looks are there. I can see it.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Resemble.
Final one is give us your strike 3 call.
like you're out.
Yeah. How would you say it? Every ump has a different way of saying it. How would you say it?
It'd probably just be like, get the fuck out.
Yeah, hey.
That works. I mean, that's pretty much what they say, you know.
Yeah, some of them do, especially if the batter's talking shit.
Oh God, I'm lucky I didn't have a couple beers. You guys would have probably gotten something really outrageous out of me for that one.
Something
Strike
very
3.
passionate.
Yeah, something very passionate.
Something very sports pat. Yeah, see, like that. You could have got, yeah. There you go.
Yeah, that's being an ump.
But remember, 2023, you gotta talk a little more puck and get blocked by Tim Brewster.
Yeah. Brewster, I'm coming for you.
Yeah,
Sure.
Tim
that's
Brewster.
great. That's awesome. Well, Smalls, thanks so much for joining us. This has been a blast talking football and your experiences. Any final thoughts coming from you, or where can people find you?
No, nothing. This is great. You guys are a blast. I have followed along. I always love watching your guys' videos, so we'll have to do it again. Maybe we'll do some collab between the two of our shows at some point. But everyone can find me on Twitter at Stephie Smalls with 3 L's, and all my work is with Champions Round.
Awesome, for sure. And let us know next time you're in Minnesota if you're at a Vikings game.
Together, I will buy you guys beers.
Absolutely, sounds fun. Hopefully it's not in a playoff game again because
Please, I can't handle it.
now you have the track record.
Either way, it won't be in Philly, so
Yeah.
it'll be fine. No one's gonna die.
We'll be okay.
Yep. Yep.
It'll be good.
All right. Well, yeah. Thanks so much for joining us. This has been a blast. All right. Welcome back to It's a Bit. That was an awesome interview with Stephie. We're gonna close out the show with a very typical third segment on here. We're going to do a draft of our favorite NHL jerseys of all time. This can be past, present, reverse retro, alternate. Nothing is off limits. We're going to do 3 rounds just because there's 4 of us. But I'm sure this one's going to get a lot of engagement, and not in a good way. Seems like anytime people rank jerseys or put out an opinion on jerseys, they get flooded with angry replies because I don't know, man. People are passionate, especially about their hockey sweaters. I don't know what it is, but I just have a feeling that no matter what we say here is going to get disagreed with. So we'll all just agree to
true. I
disagree.
just also want to say I would say every other ranking or draft we've ever done, people just get pissed about it. It's like a lose-lose situation to do drafts.
Yeah, for sure. I'm saying this one's going to be worse. This is going to be the worst of all. I'm going to tell you right now.
Like
I put out a tweet like basically apologizing in advance, and I had a shit ton of replies of jerseys I should put on my list. I don't have any of them on there. So I already know those people are going to hate me.
Well, they act like there's some sort of template or there's a book, like a Bible on jersey rankings. You need to abide by that. No, it's a fucking opinion. Just take it in.
It's like music. It's
conversate.
It's arbitrary.
Subjective.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
just like art and what do they say? Beauty's in the eye of the beholder.
Yeah,
some shit like that.
Yep. Unless you're into like trap music, then you're wrong.
Yeah.
That's
Bill
the
Guerin agrees.
Yep.
Bill Guerin,
Exactly.
EDM. I fucking hate EDM. What
I was
about
like,
that
what about-
song during the power play? Or
Yeah,
whatever?
Sandstorm is the best power play song of all time. He goes, okay, they got lucky on that one.
Yeah, it's an exception.
They got one right.
Got one right out of the millions.
All right, Jake, I'll hand it over to you, and you can just pick a random draft order, I suppose.
Okay. Doon, ding, doo, 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 ding, doon. With the first overall pick in the best NHL uniforms draft, Wag selects.
I'm gonna go with the Minnesota. This is a homer pick. Minnesota North Stars, 1978, 1988 jersey. It's absolutely one of the most beautiful jerseys there are around. It's I'm talking about. Sorry, I have the image right here. It's the all green. It's nice and crisp. It's a beautiful thing to look at, and it's kind of what our reverse retro jerseys are based on. So I don't know how you could go anything else besides that jersey if you're from Minnesota.
Yeah, that was my first pick.
It's so crisp.
I'm pretty sure you just ruined Jake's day.
Well, I could have chose the order, I guess, and that would have been my first.
Jake's
overall,
like, no,
but
it's fine. I got 39 written down.
I have 9 right now.
You have
which is
9?
surprise.
That's not very
I'm
many.
seven.
No,
But then
I
again,
wrote down more, but
I legitimately think that one was going to be the one that we all had somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna ask, like, if you guys got that first overall pick, like, yes or no, would you have chosen that?
Same one. I had
Yep.
the same one.
Yep, that would have been my pick. I should have traded up for it.
Yeah, I think all of us would have had that. For that.
I think we would have had to fold the company if someone had something else because
Yes.
the internet would have burned us to the
Yeah,
ground.
the Minnesota-based people.
They would have burned us down.
But then there's a few of those maybe people our age that didn't watch the North Stars that are saying, why would you even put that jersey on your list?
Right.
There's some of those.
there
crazy
are like the North Star haters who are like, let's fucking move on. It's been long enough.
It's
So.
still a good jersey.
Great jersey.
All right. Doon, ding, doo, 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 doon, doon. With the second overall pick in the best NHL uniforms draft, Bossman selects.
The New York Islanders fisherman jersey, which is their current reverse retro. And I think for me, the reason I love it the most was because it was during the John Spano fraud era. If you've never seen the ESPN 30 for 30, I think it's The Big Shot. It's about a guy who is basically like you and me, who, very middle-class dude who tricked his way into buying the New York Islanders for like a month. And basically frauded his way to being an NHL owner for an entire time. And I believe during his ownership, they switched to those jerseys. So that's like one of my favorite 30 for 30s. I always just laugh at how easily someone was able to go through that intricate process and trick that many people into buying an NHL team. So when they brought that back as the reverse retro, I'm like, I really like those jerseys now because that 30 for 30 is hilarious.
It's definitely one of the best reverse retros, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that 30 for 30 because they're like, hey, can you pay for the team now? And you'll send them a check. It's supposed to be for like $5 million. Will be for $500. Oh, sorry, forgot a few
zeros.
You would do that for months.
Come on.
Was it John Spano?
Can't catch up to that.
Yeah, it was John Spano.
John Spano.
The Big Shot. Watch it. It's one of the best 30 for 30s. Yeah, basically a regular middle class guy bought a NHL team and frauded his way through the entire process miraculously.
That sounds like you just list like that's the start of a comedy movie trailer right there.
Yeah, not that I think anyone who's in the position to buy an NHL team is listening to the show, but if you are, all these petty rules that exist is because of John Spano, so you can thank him.
John Spano. Yeah, he's kind of a pioneer in a way.
Yep.
But not really. All right. Ding, ding, doo, 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 ding, doo. With the third overall pick in the best NHL uniforms draft, producer Cam selects.
Ooh, you're going last.
Yeah.
I am going to take the Hartford Whalers, the green jersey, that it's just crisp. And to me, the Hartford Whalers remind me of like the Montreal Expos. Like it didn't work out in that city, but their gear or like their concept was beautiful. And I wish the Whalers were still around because that jersey is gorgeous.
You still see
Hartford Whalers.
Yeah, you still see a lot of people
Connecticut.
wearing
Oh
their
yeah,
jerseys.
yeah. Yep. I see a lot of people wear that hat too.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's crazy that
Our,
Connecticut had an NHL team.
Yeah, and our head coach fucking played 6 years there.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
Dino.
Dino, the Dean Evison, the Dean Meister.
Yep.
Yep, new
That's-
nickname.
that's
All
him.
right.
Hold on, can anyone? Where did they move?
The Hartford Whalers
know?
moved to.
Oh shit! I just
They. Oh,
Carolina.
Yeah, Carolina.
Yep.
Damn it.
They are
Yeah,
now,
gotta
they are
perform
now
me.
the
I'm pissed.
Hurricane.
Oh,
Damn it.
the Hurricanes, which is kind of strange. You'd think they would stay in a northeast city, but money talks, I guess.
Yep.
But all right. Ding ding doo 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 ding doo. With the 4th overall pick in the best NHL uniforms draft, I myself, JJ, select the California Golden Seals jerseys. They were a team from 1967 to 1976. I've seen these. People still wear these jerseys, not as much as the Whalers, but the crisp Seals jerseys. I know they had some other logos, but the ones that say Seals across them, I think were just so cool, so crisp. I think either the Sharks or the Ducks.
It's the Sharks.
Sharks
Yep.
brought it back, kind of, because I think they did move to San Jose, California, because they were in Oakland, and they folded, and I think they eventually, whatever.
They do
didn't
say
move
it's
to
the
San Jose.
same organization.
Yeah,
but
they folded in 1976, and then, San Jose was established in 93. But those jerseys are so cool. That's
Yeah, they're crisp. They're crisp as fuck. And the owner of that team also owned the Oakland Athletics at the time as well. And he required both teams to always have either yellow shoes or yellow skates.
That's crazy.
when you're a billionaire, you can control things like that.
Yellow
You're like,
skates.
you know
You're
what?
allowed to be eccentric.
Yeah, I like this color, and now it's your problem.
Yep, come on, we got to be different here.
Yeah.
We got to stick out in this league. All right. Ding ding doo 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 ding doo. With the 5th overall pick in the best NHL uniforms draft, Wag selects.
No, it's you. Because it's a snake draft, isn't it?
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
my bad. All right, then it's back to me.
No,
Fantasy.
yeah, you got to redo it.
Ding ding doo ding 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 ding. With the 5th overall pick in the best NHL uniforms draft, I myself, JJ, select the classic Detroit Red Wings jerseys.
Damn it. Sniped me.
Just the just the red. I'm talking about I think both red and white are awesome, but I do really like the white ones with the red stripes, around the bottom near the bottom of the jersey, just the Red Wing logo, classic. They haven't changed it a whole lot throughout the years, and they're one of the OG teams in the Chell, so you can't go wrong. Those jerseys are awesome. They're crisp and they're great.
Yeah.
Love the color
They're
scheme.
iconic for sure.
They are. It's like you see people wearing those jerseys that are not even necessarily Red Wings fans. That's when you know it's a good jersey.
Yeah.
That's perfect. All right. So then I'm going reverse order now, essentially.
Yep.
Correct.
Oh goodness. All right.
Oh, we put him in a mental
Ding,
pretzel.
ding, 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 ding. With the 6th overall pick in the best NHL uniforms draft, producer Cam selects.
I'm going to go with another original 6 team, another iconic jersey. It is the Toronto Maple Leafs, the blue jersey. You said it best with Detroit. It's just iconic. It's been there forever. And that logo just represents that city and that country more than probably any other logo in the league. So
Yep. That's also a signal of pain for a lot of people in
Yeah, it
Canada
is.
because they're like the NHL Vikings.
They are, even though they have won a championship,
Yeah.
but it hasn't been in a long time, and they're a Canadian team.
They're
so
like their level of pain though.
yeah,
And
exactly.
The
Yeah.
jersey now says milk on it because of their sponsor, which is
Yep.
hilarious.
Cool. Got milk?
Sick. Everyone loves milk. Kirk loves milk.
Yes, he does. All right. Ding, 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 ding. With the 7th overall pick in the best NHL uniforms draft of all time, Bossman selects.
I'm gonna get so much shit for this, but my brain is screaming at me to be myself, so I'm just gonna say it. The Golden Knights' current home jersey.
That's not out of the.
It was on my list.
I think the problem is like people are gonna say you had all the jerseys of all time and you chose a current one. Like they don't know how to do jerseys. I love it. I think it's great, and I think the reason why that jersey sticks with me is because we went to that game in Vegas, got to watch the Golden Knights play, got to see the show they put on. I've mentioned it 100 times on this podcast. They know how to put on a show along with a hockey game, and when they have the gold buckets too, those are very controversial. I love those too. I think it's a great logo. I think that gold is just it's perfect. And it's something really unique that hockey needed was kind of some flashier colors. So, yeah, got to go with the Knights home jersey.
Makes sense. It's not out of the realm. People shouldn't be pissed at that. I think I like their scheme and their uniforms. All right. Ding, ding, doo, 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 ding, doo. With the 8th overall pick in the best NHL uniforms draft, Wag selects.
I'm going with the Los Angeles Kings jerseys from 1967 to 1980. And they also brought it back from like 20.
Purple and yellow, right?
Yep. Yeah, I just sent in a group chat. It's like a all base purple with a few yellow stripes and then like a crown in the middle, and it's one of the cleanest, tightest jerseys around. Yep. And it really sucks that they got rid of it again in 2014. I would love for that to still be their alternate today, or even their main.
I think it's their. Is it their reverse retro?
Yeah, it is.
It's great. But yeah, it should be an alternate.
It doesn't look the same though. It is a little different. I do prefer the ones that they were actually using in like the 80s. But
yeah, and then they brought it. I could maybe technically still use it, but that was going to be my next pick. It was like they brought back from like 2000, 2004, the really authentic purple LA Kings jerseys, and that was the one that they had in NHL 2005 when I played that, and that would have been my next pick. That was literally my next pick.
I don't think any
so nice.
Does any NHL team have purple?
No. And that's why it was so unique.
It's unique.
I was torn between that one and my other pick. So
yeah, no, I had that one on my list too.
Gotcha. I never even thought purple. You're right. There's barely any purple teams in the league.
But I even like their yellow ones too with the crown. I mean that scheme was just so cool.
Yeah,
it's because we're Vikings fans.
I do also think though, like the current black and gray is like so intimidating, makes them look like villains.
Yeah, exactly.
So I get it, but the Kings just get it right.
It makes Anze Kopitar look emo.
It looks Kevin Fiala look like he went to the Empire.
Do you go up to him and be like, "You look grungy"?
Dude. It makes him look very grungy.
That's your pickup line,
dude. Fuck yeah, dude. It is the pickup line. All right. Ding ding doo 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 ding doo. With the 9th overall pick in the best NHL uniforms draft, we go back to Wags.
Oh, this is tough. I'm going to go with Boston Bruins from 95 to 2006. Their Pooh Bear jerseys.
Yeah, I had that one too.
Yeah, it's I don't know, I kind of like the cartoonish ones, but they had like an image of a bear literally just across the chest, like a gold jersey, and another one that's clean, tight, and it's just the picture of the bear is sick. There's nothing like that in the league, so I'm going with that.
It's a very nice jersey, very nice uniform. All right. Ding, ding, doo, 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 ding, doo. With the 10th overall pick in the best NHL uniforms draft, Bossman selects.
Got the Washington Capitals from 1997 to 2000. So it was a bald eagle on a dark blue jersey with a ton of gold stars in it, and it was like the scheme of the stars and the eagle. It's a badass jersey. I think honestly you could take any Capital. If you love America, you can take any of the Capitals jerseys and be like, I like that one.
True.
Pretty hard to fuck that up. So
it's part of being a Patriot.
Yeah, specifically that jersey though. It's just such a different look from what the Capitals usually have. You know, there's no red in it, which now is kind of their predominant color. So
yeah,
it's unique.
Those are cool.
I feel like the Capitals, more than most other teams, have updated their jerseys a lot. They have like the same logo, but in like 400 different ways throughout the year.
Yeah,
throughout the years.
The Capitals get it. Every time you make a new jersey or you change it, you just get a ton of money. So they just bankroll off that every time.
Yeah, because a shit ton of like
twin strategy.
Yeah, a shit ton of the early Ovi highlights. You just see him in that classic, and that just shows how long he's been around. But no, that's an awesome fucking jersey. All right, ding ding doo 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 ding doo. With the 11th overall pick in the best NHL uniforms draft, producer Cam selects.
The fact that I got this in the 3rd round is criminal. But from 1993 to 2006, the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim. It's like one of the most, like, you think of like cool hockey jerseys, that's the one that should come to your mind at the beginning.
I think the only reason I didn't take that was just because how bad the Ducks are right now. I can't.
Yeah, but
Disney.
I can't appreciate it.
That jersey is unbelievable.
I don't choose it because I just think like you can buy Mighty Ducks jerseys from the movie and it looks so much better than even the. Like, I know those are cool Anaheim Ducks jerseys and they're cartoony and stuff, but I think that the actual like the jerseys
ones from the movies
are better than
but they actually
get fucked, Cam.
They have the Ducks.
I disagree.
No, it was a cool scheme because I think they were unique though in the way that not just the logo but like the way they had the style of the color scheme
Yeah.
and then the threading, like it was like kind of diagonal
Yep.
through the jersey.
Well,
it was kind of
And
cool.
like the purple and teal.
Yeah.
Like I like that together.
And the
Yeah.
the duck is like an old hockey mask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Goalie mask,
That's
right?
just super
Yeah,
creative.
That is sick.
with a
Which-
duck bill.
Which is stupid because they were obviously stuck with naming that team, but I think Disney no longer bought the rights to the team or something. Is that why they just went to the Ducks? Because now that's just a stupid name. Like the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim, it makes sense. It's based off the movie, The Mighty Ducks. Now they're like, oh, Disney's got rid of it, so you can't use the Mighty Ducks. Now you're just the Ducks.
Now they're just ducks.
That makes no sense. In Anaheim, it makes sense if you're in a Midwest state or
Do they
something.
have ducks in Anaheim?
I would imagine.
I think
It's
there's
it's the ocean, right?
Yeah, there's
Oregon ducks. They
no.
got ducks up there.
Yeah, no, there's ducks in lakes and stuff
There's
out
ducks
there,
up
but it's
there,
not
Jake.
known for ducks.
Ducks are actually like the most random bird on the planet.
Yeah, I know.
Now,
I know.
now that we're
Well,
talking about
yeah, I
it.
know.
Well,
It is,
birds aren't real, so
I will
Doesn't
say
matter.
if they had the
True.
option to name themselves just the Ducks, they wouldn't have did it. They're stuck with that name because they were the Mighty Ducks and it's a Disney deal.
I almost think of like the episode of It's Always Sunny when they do like a wrestling event and they're birds of war. Yeah. And like they're supposed to be like mighty eagles, but then they talk about like regurgitating their lunch and blah blah blah. And it's like, well, now we just sound like birds. That's what I think about now. It's like you're just ducks.
You're just ducks.
You're not mighty anymore.
Not the
You're-
fighting ducks.
You just quack and take bread.
I know. It is strange. I have thought about that. All right.
You just quack and take bread.
Yeah.
That was funny.
You got to rip it up though into bite-sized pieces.
You're no longer mighty.
And it's expired.
Yep.
All right. Ding ding doo 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 ding doo. With the final pick in the best NHL uniforms draft, I myself, JJ, select the Kansas City Scouts. I'm just joking. They were an NHL team for 2 years. I'm taking the OG Minnesota Wild green jerseys. And I know that could be controversial because we're drafting top 3, but I just had to do it.
Yeah, no.
I had to do it.
You got to do it.
Nostalgia, the Homer bit, the number with the jagged edges, and as my first one of my first jerseys ever was a Marion Gaborik jersey, so I gotta give a shout out to the green, and the white ones were great too, but the green, just that screaming forest green, just scream Minnesota, and the red, and it was just unbelievable jersey.
First of all, I just looked up Kansas City Scouts. Jerseys are sick.
They are really cool.
Probably
actually.
should have went with that.
Yeah, no, they're cool, but they just weren't a team very long and not very well known, so that would have just been.
It makes me sad
Honestly,
that
all those NHL teams that were teams between the 30s and the 50s that no longer exist, all of their jerseys are top notch.
When we were looking, because Jack, you shared that link that put it all in the perspective, like you could see all the different teams. How many teams there were in the NHL between the times that you said, Zane, like 1930 and 1980 was just insane. How many teams there were like 3 different teams in St. Louis. Yep. There were like 2 or 3 different teams in Montreal that lasted like a year or two. There's a team in Cleveland Barons or something, who also had a decent jersey too. Lasted for like 3 or 4 years, but it's crazy how many teams didn't last.
Oh, what Seattle's original team?
They were the Metropolitans, and
Yeah, they had a cool scheme.
Yeah,
it was like brown and green or something.
Red, I forgot, but it was like an M for Metropolitans, and it was like 1918. They were like the first, I think, American team to win the Stanley Cup or whatever they called it back then.
Those ones.
Yeah.
It was like
it's kind of like a soccer jersey.
red, white, and green candy cane.
Yeah. No, it looks cool.
Christmas time, baby.
Pretty cool.
Out of all sports, though, I feel like there really isn't hockey is like I think some of the best jerseys around, like between all teams. Like there isn't really a bad jersey.
We talked about this on Sunday. Like football teams never change their schemes.
Yeah.
And even if they so as much as tweak a logo, they just get fucking
Someone
obliterated.
freaks out.
Yeah.
In like, can you imagine if the Vikings did like you sometimes see that Vikings V around?
Yeah,
like
they tried that.
I don't know if they tried that on a helmet ever, but I think people would freak the fuck out.
Yeah, not on a helmet.
No,
fuck that.
No. Maybe on like a jersey, kind of like a V, but I don't think that would happen.
Someone on Twitter. Yeah, I love when people just play with logos and make like just alternatives and just throw them out there. Someone merged our logo with like I can't remember whose logo. Whether it's like the Twins logo, the Wild logo, and the Twins logo. And it was actually really sick.
Yeah.
It was like the North Star. It was a little more cartoony, but I don't know. It's always fun to see those.
I've seen people make like Vikings uniforms in Wild scheme and Wild colors. And it's weird, but it still looks kind of cool if they actually did that. But it wouldn't make sense if they did that.
That's another draft, Jake. You can make the graphic, and we'll throw it out Friday, and we'll get roasted in the fucking sun like anyone would when they do a draft.
Fun.
Specifically for this topic. We could have drafted our favorite presidents, and it would have gotten less hate than this. I'm serious.
That's so true.
People are crazy about jerseys, especially hockey jerseys.
People need to just calm down. It's an opinion. It's a draft. Let's have a conversation, not rip people.
Let's have a conversation about cloth.
Let's have a conversation about thread and colors.
Yep. The important things.
Yep.
All right, well, that just about does it for another episode of It's a Bit, folks. Thanks, as always, for listening. Make sure to buy your tickets for the final Cup Snake, the last snake, the Minnesota Wild game on February 15th against the Colorado Avalanche. You can find the link in our pinned tweet. We'll also put it in the show notes of this episode, as well as our bio of Instagram and TikTok. Make sure to follow us on all socials, 10K Takes, and follow all of our other pages and podcasts. And finally, go to the website, 10ktakesmn.com. I've been getting back into the blog. I actually was going to do that as an honorable mention bit. I'm trying to blog again. I wrote a blog about Fleury versus Gustafsson. We need to stop arguing about it because it's true. So make sure to check out the website. But folks, that was another episode of It's a Bit presented by 10,000 Takes. Thanks so much for supporting us as always, and we'll see you next week.